welcome to a brand new episode of the McDonCast. We've got not a super stacked week, but we've got some pretty cool announcements. So let's see, what do we got here? We got some new Pokemon Legends. We got some Sony buying companies. We got The Witcher. We got Stranger Things. We've got Boba Fett. We got Teen Wolf, and we got Steve Ditko's estate rights. It's gonna be a great podcast today, guys. So let's get going. All right, let's start off with the gaming news. So, oh, but this one's got cool gaming news. We got new Pokemon Legends trailer, which revealed a bunch of new stuff. It revealed all the, whatever their replacement for the gym leaders is called, I forgot the name. They revealed a bunch of new Pokemon. They were, or like new Pokemon styles. They revealed that changing your clothes and hairstyles and stuff will return, which is good because they don't always do that. They also revealed a new Pokemon called Kleavor, who's one of many noble Pokemon. They didn't explain what that means, but he's apparently the first one, and he has giant axes for hands, and he looks really ridiculous. Pull him up.
Kleavor?
Kleavor.
I see Kleavor.
Alright, let's find some Kleavor.
Watch it just pull up knives. Oh, no,
Is it Kleavor?
Oh, what?
Like,
No,
like
go.
Cleaver?
yeah.
Yeah, he's got axes for hands.
That's what he looks like
He looks,
That's really
to our
cool.
audience. Patrick can't see it.
but he is one of the noble
You should
Pokemon.
share it with me.
Where? Okay, that's not. I'm not gonna deal with that. That's not working. Okay, now it's all crashed.
It crashed?
It's just kind of pooped itself.
Just click screen one.
Okay, guys.
Why are you calling him in Chrome?
I'm not.
You're in the Chrome version of Discord.
Can we cut this out?
Why are you in the Chrome version of
Yeah,
Discord?
we'll just cut this out. Sam, you're the one that edits the podcast, right?
No, I'm leaving this in. We gotta expose Tucker for using Chrome Discord for some reason.
Oh.
Why on earth did you? Why don't you just download it?
I'm not using the web version of Discord.
Yeah, because it doesn't work.
I don't use Discord enough.
Just close the Chrome tab.
I can't.
Okay, you use Discord every
Oh my
week.
god.
Just right click at
I
the
can't
bottom
do anything.
and force the tab to close.
Oh,
This
boo
is
boo.
a thrilling episode.
The
guys.
one that's open.
Everyone
dumb.
stare at Kleavor.
Click the one with the call.
Why
in
is this not working? Okay, now my computer is not connected to the Wi-Fi.
What?
How are you
Well, you're clearly still connected because Patrick is still
Okay,
talking.
hang on. My Google Docs stopped working now.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. You fix that.
Yeah, what is going on?
All right, so while Tucker's fixing that, I'm gonna go through the announcements that pretty much don't matter. Square Enix's Avengers game will be coming to Xbox Game Pass in September. I'm sure that'll be really cool for the two fans of the Square Enix Avengers game.
I can't even close this tab.
There.
Okay,
it's
there we
closed,
go.
right?
Oh, I didn't close
You
both
closed
of them.
all of them.
Tucker.
Why do you not have Discord? What? How often do you? No, that's why your quality was so bad the other day.
I'm still not downloading Discord. I'm just gonna open it.
Why? All right. Yeah, Square Enix Avengers is coming to Xbox Game Pass in September. So if you've been waiting to play that game for free, and you have an Xbox and you have Game Pass, there you go. All right. Battlefield 2042 enters open beta. Oh, there's Patrick.
You figure it out?
Mm-hmm.
Probably, maybe.
We're just not gonna screen share with you this time.
Where is he?
I'm bringing him up.
I'm thinking we'll restart this episode.
Well, we can't now. We've already started.
We can.
They'll think it's funny. They'll think it's a funny haha moment when everything falls apart right as we start.
Why don't we... No, I think we should just restart.
No, it's
They're
fine.
gonna click off because they're gonna be like, dang, what is this? They don't know what they're doing.
What unprofessionals.
what unprofessional quality these podcasters have.
And our audio listeners will be like, "What? I don't know what's going on."
Well, the audio listeners already don't know what's going on. All right. Yeah, so Battle 42 has entered open beta, and if you guys remember from
What's Battle 42?
Battlefield 42, 2042, whatever. The one that got recently pushed back from its release date that was supposed to be like a week ago. So what that tells me, So what that tells me is that the game was fully planned for launch right now. They realized the game was in an inoperable state, and then they went, guys, it's the open beta, not the real game. And they will release it, and they will charge you microtransactions in the open beta, because that is what they will do.
Because EA is sick.
Yes, indeed. Alrighty. And
Patrick, what do you... for those who don't know, Patrick is changing his Discord background.
Yep, he sure is.
Why?
Aang and Korra have been announced for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, so the two characters from Nickelodeon that people will play as in that game, and no one else will even touch any of the other
Sam,
characters.
they're going to play as SpongeBob. They're going to play as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What are you even talking
No,
about?
they won't. They'll just play these two. Alrighty, yeah, that's pretty much it for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I don't understand why there's so much hype for that game. Like, I actually hear a lot of people talk about that game
Because
fairly
it's
often.
Smash Bros. For Nickelodeon characters.
But, like, I didn't know that there were that many Nickelodeon characters people actually
People
cared
loved
about.
them in the 90s. It's all the 90s boys.
Well, no, it's the early 2000s boys. It's the SpongeBobs.
Was Nickelodeon.
And Nickelodeon was also really popular in the 90s.
Nostalgia brings in the big bucks.
Dan Schneider? I don't think so.
Oh, the guy
Are you
that
gonna
got
pull up a
fired?
picture of Dan Schneider?
The guy that got fired because he had a weird foot fetish?
Yeah, that guy.
Let's
Was it
pull up
dude?
Dan
What a
Schneider.
cool guy.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to Dan
Remember that
Alright.
time that he asked me
Insomniac
for
Games
pics?
says that Spider-Man 2 will be much darker than the previous two games, so...
Which is, makes sense. You're pulling in Venom. You're pulling in Kraven. That's a very obvious...
It is so lame that they're gonna do a dark story with... Kraven is the stupidest...
I know you-
hate Kraven.
I don't-
He's such a stupid
And a
villain.
lot of people really love Kraven
His
the Hunter, but
motivation
Sam
is
hates
the
him.
dumbest
So
ever.
bad.
It's just, I want to hunt Spider-Man because he's a spider and a man. Like, that's the stupidest motivation for a villain ever.
Sam is very excited for the solo Kraven the Hunter movie, as you can tell. But you're bringing in Venom. You're bringing in Kraven. Some version of Kraven's Last Hunt is the obvious thing you do. And that's like one of the darker Spider-Man storylines. Again, Venom equals Peter Parker gets angry, dark things happen. But like the first Spider-Man game isn't dark, but like there's some dark things that happen in it, especially towards the end. So I'm wondering what they mean by like it's gonna be darker. Like, is it more people just
I
gonna
hope
die
it's
now?
not going to just be edgier.
I hope, yeah.
just
That's always the
kinda like-
go-to for people is like, this needs to be darker. Just make it edgy. Make them swear and do more murders.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. At least they're not doing that one Spider-Man story where Mary Jane dies from cancer because of exposure to things.
So that's gonna be Spider-Man 3.
Alrighty. Konami is working on Metal Gear 2 Remaster. Does anyone care about this?
Sam, you love Metal Gear 2.
No, none of us have played a single Metal Gear game ever.
We're journalists. We're sharing this with the people.
Right, we're journalists. That's what this is. Alright. Alright, well I guess Konami's got a Metal Gear Solid, or
I'm
not Metal
changing
Gear
our
Solid, regular Metal Gear 2 Remaster.
I'm changing. No, it is Metal Gear Solid 2. But
Oh, well then that's a different game.
I forgot to put Solid in. Jeez, stop
Metal
freaking
Gear is
out.
different than Metal Gear Solid. Those are
I'm gonna
totally
change
different
our
franchises.
Twitter bio to journalists.
Journal. Well, if we do that,
Can
we
we
might
get
actually,
verified
no, we
on
could
Twitter?
actually get verified if we just
With
say
our
we're
3
journalists.
followers.
We just need to make our own website, and then we'll be like, guys, we post.
We
news
just
articles.
repost fake articles of things we talked about.
All right. Sony acquires developer Bluepoint Games. Do they make anything interesting?
So
They made that one thing.
Bluepoint is most notable for their remakes of games and remasters. They remastered the Nathan Drake collection for PS4, and most recently they did the Dark Souls remake for PS5. That was kind of big when the PS5 came out.
Those are fairly like high quality games.
So they've been working with PlayStation for a while now. So it does make sense that Sony's going to want to take them up.
So that was like Sony's Platinum Studios, where
Yeah.
they only made games for them, but they didn't technically.
It's like what happened with Insomniac.
Yeah.
Insomniac had been making PlayStation games like almost exclusively for years, other than Sunset Overdrive. And just like a few years ago, Sony was like, should we buy these people who have been making all of our first-party IPs for 15 years?
All right. Guerrilla Games is hiring for a potential multiplayer... Oh, no. Multiplayer Horizon game. Cool, so we're getting a Horizon Battle Royale game. I'm sure that'll be really fun.
I don't know why you always assume it's a Battle Royale.
Because that's where the money is.
Not anymore. Battle Royale games aren't even popular.
No, they definitely still are.
No, they're not.
Warzone. Sorry.
Warzone, Fortnite, PUBG still makes like $1 billion in India every
I think the
few
thread has
seconds.
mold on it.
What? Where? No, that's where they just burned it when they were cooking it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
It's weird. They burned one spot.
Apex.
Yeah, Apex.
Used to be PUBG.
I mean, PUBG still makes.
These
billions.
games
It's not
exist,
America.
but does anybody talk about or play
It's
them?
not about whether they talk about or play them. It's whether people spend money on them.
Fortnite has millions of players, like tens of millions of players.
Most of whom are children with
Yeah.
access to their parents' credit cards.
Parents go, boop, 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 boop. Here, Timmy, buy $500.
Here's $20, so you shut up for 2 hours.
I think if they're doing a multiplayer Horizon game, it'll be more like a GTA Online, where you just run around the map and just like
That
hit
would be
things.
cool. But GTA is also doing Battle Royale, you forget.
They already say that for GTA 6. Is that what they're doing? Makes sense.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it for gaming news. We didn't have a whole lot of gaming news this week.
There's not a whole lot of news.
Gaming time's over.
Yep.
We're
Patrick's favorite segment.
We're gonna talk mostly about Venom 2 this week.
All right, now we're gonna talk for 20 minutes about the rising cost of gasoline due to inflation. No, I'm just kidding. All right,
Inflation's
Witcher.
going up, so gasoline prices are going up.
that's pretty much it. All right, Witcher season 2 trailer is it's out. I saw it, and the Witcher is in it, and so is the girl that he's traveling with, and
Sam,
also his friends.
as the only person here who knows anything about The Witcher, what did you think of the trailer?
The trailer was 80% footage from season 1. So
well, that's the
most
way
of
you
it
go.
doesn't really matter.
You think it's because they're hiding things, or do you think it's because they're rushing to get finished in post?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they are. They finished filming like a while ago. Like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they finished filming like right after season 1 finished filming.
No, they started filming like right after season 1,
Yeah,
and then
like,
they had
they filmed them almost at the same time.
they had a COVID delay, a Henry Cavill hurt himself delay, and then another like
Didn't Henry Cavill
Wait,
get like
Henry
COVID or
Cavill's in
something?
it?
no, he
Henry Cavill's The Witcher.
Oh,
you moron.
What?
I don't watch The Witcher.
Also, you know he also plays like D&D like way too much. That's a side tangent.
But I think he like broke his leg or something while filming the show.
Dang.
It was like a 4-month delay.
Yeah.
That's why it's been like 2 years since season 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't really make The Witcher without The Witcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have recast him for like 4 episodes and then made it go back to Henry Cavill afterward.
Yeah. So.
In the show, can you see his face and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not like hidden.
They should have got.
It's not like Mandalorian where they can shoot the entire show without Pedro Pascal being there and then just have him record all of his dialogue from home.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Stranger Things season 4 teaser. I didn't see this.
I did see this. This was like it was like a minute and a half long, and it was about a spooky house that I guess is going to be important in the next season.
Spooky house.
Apparently the house in the show will belong to like a crazed serial killer man who will be played by Robert Englund. So that's neat. Sam doesn't know who that is, but Freddy Krueger, by the way. That's who Robert Englund is.
Oh, well, you should have said that.
Everybody knows who Freddy Krueger is.
No one knows who Robert Englund is or whatever you said.
So
Oh yes. That's
these two things were from Netflix's like fake. Their fake version of DC fandom, and they did not give a date.
Yeah, so
for
why did they announce
this.
this Witcher trailer at WitcherCon? Like when they did that whole
I think they had like a
3-day long
they did
WitcherCon.
WitcherCon and they had like a clip of the show of season 2
Yeah, why wasn't WitcherCon also just part of the Netflix fandom knockoff?
because fandom was coming up in like 2 weeks, and Netflix was like, we gotta get in there, we gotta talk about our new Melissa McCarthy comedy.
Guys, now hear me out. Amy's shooting up. Get
All right. Is
So-
that it for Stranger? Do you have any theories related to the
No,
thing?
I honestly, Stranger Things kind of burned me out after that third season.
There was barely any mystery to begin with. And when the mystery was revealed, it was like, okay, I guess aliens or something.
I think the
Monsters,
creators have
right?
run out of
Oh,
ideas.
cool.
I think they ran out of ideas after the first season, which was just a straight copy of a book that they both read.
I think what happened was, what happens with most people in TV is where they build up the show around spooky mysteries, but they don't have any resolution to any of them
It's
in
the
their head.
lost problem.
Yeah, they just go, this is spooky, just put it in there. It doesn't matter.
No, I fully believe Stranger Things is the Lost of the
Yeah, pretty much.
the late 2010s.
Everyone's going to talk about it. Everyone's going to hype up the Duffer
And then
brothers.
when it finally
and
ends,
then when it finally ends, it's just going to poop itself
Yeah.
out and everyone's going to hate it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Book of Boba Fett announced their release date for December 29th, which, yeah, okay, I guess technically it counts as December, but really they should have said January.
So,
They could have released it January 1st, but they just wanted it.
Now, are they doing a dual episode release on the first day?
no, it'll be
No.
weekly. As far as we know, it'll
Yeah.
be weekly. But that's every big live action project is.
Well, but I mean, are they doing 2 episodes when it first comes out?
No, probably not.
Okay.
No, because they're only making like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, they're making 8.
they're only making 8?
8?
8 episode
better be
seasons,
long.
baby. No,
Alright.
it's going to be like The Mandalorian, where they're anywhere from like 20 minutes to like an hour.
An hour. Alrighty. So, that's cool. Umbrella Academy Season 3 will be set in Hotel Oblivion and release in 2022. What is Hotel Oblivion? Is that a
And that's
thing
something from
comic
the
book?
comic. I haven't read the comic.
Yeah, I
book.
haven't read the comic either. I've
Cool.
only seen the show.
Although,
the show was weird.
what I know about the comic is it's like there's like 3 volumes of it,
Yeah.
and then it's over.
It's like a yeah.
And they've covered the first 2. So this is either the last season or they're going to start improvising some storylines for
And that's always
future seasons.
That's where shows
And
get good.
That's always good when the creators start having to make up stuff about material they didn't create.
Mm-hmm.
That's never gone wrong. Not even once.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Umbrella Academy is just like a really dumb version of X-Men.
It's even more wacky X-Men.
Okay, and this is my tier list of teams led by psychic dudes in wheelchairs. There's X-Men, Doom Patrol, and then Umbrella Academy. They're at the bottom of the
That's a hot
superhero
take.
teams led by psychic dudes in wheelchairs.
That's a hot take, Sam. You'll have to create your own team about a second guy in a wheelchair to compete with them.
Alrighty. Are we all good? We got a The Boys spinoff. What is that?
So, the Amazon has been developing like 5 different Boys spin-offs after
Well, of course, it made $1 million.
because it made a lot of money for them. It's the only show on Amazon Prime anyone watches.
No,
Oh, and Invincible.
But they don't want to invest in that one.
No, the animation's got to stay only $15
No,
an
the animation
episode.
has got to be 2 frames per second.
Uh-huh. But so they haven't really given us an idea of what the show is about. They said it'll be about like young superheroes like competing with who can sign the contracts for like the best cities.
It's My Hero Academia Vigilantes, but dark.
Sort
No,
of.
it's the same.
But they did announce that the showrunners are going to be the same showrunners as Agent Carter. Remember that show?
Does anyone remember that show? How many episodes were there? Wasn't there only like 12?
They did like 2 seasons, I think.
There were 2 seasons of that show.
And I think they were both like 13
Are
episodes.
they even canon?
They fit in the canon. Like,
Yeah.
if you wanted them to be canon, you could just pretend they were canon.
Yeah.
They definitely fit.
Agent Carter, I think, could probably fit
They
better than...
exist out of like they don't affect literally anything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Because, like, I think Agent Carter is probably, like, the one you could... Because it takes place in, like, the 1950s or whatever.
Other than the Howard Stark actor being a different guy.
Yeah, well, but that happens in the movies, too.
Yeah.
So
He's a different
it-
guy in every movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like... that doesn't matter. And then I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. introduces things that, like, the MCU does later on, and they're different.
Yeah.
Like, the Darkhold they did in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then it was completely separate in WandaVision. So I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is more iffy, but Agent Carter is probably, like, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
You could just... It's just in there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's also going to have the same... The Boys spinoff is going to have the same executive producers as The Boys does, and it's aiming for a mid-2022 release, which would be only a few months after The Boys Season 3 is planning to launch, which is early next year.
Great.
Speaking of spin-offs out of streaming services' most popular original shows, Netflix is looking to expand the Stranger Things universe through a spin-off starring Millie Bobby Brown.
Of course. Is it going to be called 11?
Probably not. It'll probably be called...
Bobby Brown lives at Netflix.
Yeah,
That's where she lives.
she just does a million... There was also announcements about Enola Holmes 2, but I didn't put those in there.
Yep.
Does anyone care?
Bobby Brown is just at Netflix 24/7.
My name is Alone backwards. For some reason, that makes me a character that is deep for some reason.
So obviously this show, this spin-off potentially happening would just be about her hunting down the other psychic kids, I would guess.
Yeah, obviously, since they never addressed that in the actual show.
Well, because the one episode they did about it, everyone hated, so they were just like, just drop this part of the show, it doesn't matter anymore.
But they didn't hate it because of the concept. They hated it because
The episode was
episode
bad.
being terrible.
Yeah, but that's obviously where they would go with this, and presumably...
I mean, that episode was clearly a soft pilot for a spin-off of Stranger Things.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah.
But presumably that would mean she would either leave the show is ending, and this would be like its continuation. But like she's also kind of the main character already, like arguably the main character of the show. It's an ensemble, but it's like she's the pariah of everything that happens in the entire show. So
She's the one with powers.
yeah.
So she's got to be the focus.
She's the one who always has to fight the big monsters. Because
The one with powers is the one that gets character development.
Uh-huh.
So she appears like the main character because she's the only one whose character changes throughout the course of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But really, the main character is supposed to be the squad, but they kind of just
the
forgot
squad.
about them
Yeah.
since they're all static characters who literally just exist to be around. Whatever
No,
is interesting.
sometimes they argue, Sam.
Sometimes they don't get along.
Uh-huh. Despite the fact that they're basically all the same person.
Exactly.
All right. Moving on to movie news. Patrick, get hyped.
Get hype. I'm hyped.
Patrick's half asleep.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Alrighty.
Patrick, did you just wake up?
Oh, you didn't mention the Witcher is got a new.
Oh,
anime.
sorry. Yes. The Witcher, ahead of season 2, has been picked up for season 3, and they announced that they're doing another anime spin-off
And
movie.
is this going to be done by the people that did the Castlevania anime?
I would assume it's the same people who did the other Witcher anime spin-off movie.
That is already out.
Uh-huh.
When did that come out?
A couple weeks ago.
Did anyone notice?
Not really. No one really cared. Mostly because they announced it like a month before it was
Is
released.
it good? Hang on, I gotta.
It's
I gotta
called
look
The
this up.
Witcher Blood Origin. Oh no, it's not called that. It's called something else. Nightmare of the Wolf.
Oh no!
100% on Rotten Tomatoes, Sam.
What?
With how
Oh,
many?
actually, okay, this
With how
doesn't
many
look bad.
reviews? With 26 reviews.
This doesn't look that bad.
85% audience score.
Oh yeah, this is done by the people that did Castlevania, or at least it looks like it was.
Director Kwang Yi Han.
Not sure who that is. All right, I'll have to watch that later. But yeah, alrighty. Anyway.
It's only an hour and 20 minutes long.
Anyways, side tangent over. Movie time! We got a new trailer for Encanto.
Sam, are you excited for Encanto?
Oh yes, I do love my whole family has powers, but I don't, and that's what makes me special.
Huh? What are you guessing that the twist of the end of the movie will be
She
that?
gets powers and it undermines
No,
this-
no, no,
the-
no,
the
no.
meaning that they were
It'll
going
be
with
that
initially.
being special means being yourself, Sam.
Yes, but being yourself will give you powers in the end of the movie.
Or she'll be really good at singing. One of those things.
Probably no. She sings and it does something magical. She's got magic singing powers.
Yes, she has the power of Lin-Manuel
But
Miranda.
she's afraid to sing for the first half of the movie. And so she doesn't know she has singing powers. But one time when she was, this is a flashback. One time when she was a little girl, she sang like one time and it did something magic. And so she knows deep down in her heart that she has powers and that she's special. But no one else believes her.
Can
'cause
you
only
tell
she
Sam
saw it.
didn't watch the trailer for the movie?
Did this all happen in the movie?
I didn't watch
In
the trailer
I didn't
either.
watch the trailer.
I already know what this movie
I
is.
just told you exactly what's going to happen.
It's an excuse for Lin-Manuel Miranda to make another soundtrack and pay rent that month.
I'm special because I'm not special.
Okay, it would be kind of interesting to have them do a musical where their lead doesn't sing until the end of the movie.
That's impossible. How do you make a musical like that?
I don't know. They'll figure it out.
No, they don't. It's Disney. It's fine. I'm sure it'll be okay. I'm sure it'll win Best Picture because it's got Disney on it. I mean, not Best Picture, Best Animated Film at the Oscars. It'll be that and Luca.
Movie coming out?
Luca came out this year. That'll get nominated and maybe win. But this is going to have Lin-Manuel Miranda doing it. He's doing the music, and they like him a lot.
Right. But Luca had Spain. Or
Italy?
Italy.
I don't care about Italy. Mexico's where it's at, Sam. Italy's too far away.
Doesn't it take place in Colombia?
No.
Is it?
I thought it was in Colombia.
I'm pretty sure it's Mexico.
Like 99% sure it's
Let's look
not
it up.
Mexico.
This information about this movie, yeah, it's Colombia, Max.
Yep, I was
moron.
right. Wow, Max, look, now you're problematic. How does it feel?
You're off the podcast.
Yeah, you said the same thing.
That's fine.
I was the only one that knew what the answer was.
Hang on, I think both of the directors for this movie are white.
Colombia, Mexico, same.
Awesome.
Let's see.
Wait until TikTok finds out about this, guys.
One of the co-writers is Hispanic and a lady.
Colombia?
She might be, I don't know. And then the only other two people who are Hispanic involved are the people doing the music.
Wow, and I know Lin-Manuel Miranda. I don't think he's Colombian. I'm 99%
No,
sure he's not Colombian.
I forget where he's from.
Well, we know it's not Colombia.
He's Puerto Rican.
Okay, yeah, so not Colombia.
Not Colombian.
Not at all.
You can tell that the guys who are directing it are white because their names are Howard and Bush.
Nothing like being named after the president from like 40 years ago. Anyway.
And Howard Taft?
And how?
No,
they both have president
that's
names.
the last names. It's Byron Howard and Jared Bush.
Oh,
One of
those
them's
are
name
definitely
is
white
Jared.
guys.
Yeah, those are definitely white guys. All right. Anyway, moving on.
How could you tell?
All right. Announcements. Teen Wolf, the MTV show, not the Michael J. Fox movie. The MTV show remake, reboot, spin-off, own thing.
Watch Michael J. Fox come back to acting for this.
He can't, Sam.
Oh, but they'll find a way. They'll give him a robot exoskeleton.
Hollywood will invest billions of dollars in funding of Parkinson's.
No, they will.
To cure him just for the Teen
No,
Wolf
they won't
movie.
cure him. They will make a robot exoskeleton that looks exactly like his normal skin. It'll just make him look slightly bigger because they'll have to wear it, and it'll move around for him. And that is what it'll be.
Whatever it takes. Like the director just walks into like the prop department's like just hands him like a drawing on a post-it note of the exoskeleton. And he's like, build this by Tuesday. And he just walks out.
Just like demands that they make radical advances in robotics.
Hello, I got to ask. I am here to tell you about these ones.
Anyway, yeah, so this Teen Wolf movie is happening. Some of the original cast is set to return. They didn't say who. But when they announced this, people were very excited. Apparently this show has a hardcore following that no one knew about.
Well, Morgan.
Is he did he mention Teen Wolf one
He
time?
mentions it constantly.
Oh, he mentions Teen Wolf 2. That's
Tucker show.
Teen Wolf 2 is dumb.
It's the same thing.
No, one's
All right,
about
cool.
basketball.
Anyway,
one's about
Sam
boxing.
Raimi said he is very unsure about directing Doctor Strange.
Said he
2.
was very unsure.
Was very unsure about directing Doctor Strange 2 after the reception to Spider-Man 3. Well, yeah.
Well, too bad for him.
Yeah, I would be too after I made like the worst superhero movie ever.
It's not his fault that movie ended up like that.
It's not his fault either.
No, it was Avi Arad.
He's the one who told Tobey Maguire to do this. The studio didn't tell him to do this. He told him to do that.
Actually, the studio kind of told him to do that because he wasn't going to do Venom. The studio told him to put Venom in the movie. So probably that wouldn't have happened if
Yeah,
it wasn't.
probably not. But anyway.
Anyway, Sam Raimi is good at directing things.
He just had a little bit of a
I'm very excited for Doctor Strange 2.
little bit of a flip-flop on that. A little bit of a mess up. Okay, we all make
Also, it didn't deserve. Like, if that movie is, shut up, Max. The That movie is not as bad as a lot of people treat it.
It's pretty bad.
When's the last time you saw Spider-Man 3, Sam?
Maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, so you don't even...
No, I remember.
People always point to that dancing bit, but like the rest of the movie isn't terrible.
The whole relationship with Mary Jane is super weird and doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but that's for all of
The
them.
villain is the dumbest villain ever.
Which one?
All of them.
Sandman?
All of them.
Sandman's not dumb. He's good in that movie.
Sandman retcons the whole Uncle Ben death thing.
So?
That's dumb. Retcons are dumb.
Retcons are stupid. Movie sucks.
The Venom, all of the stuff with Venom was stupid.
Again,
Now put the
not really his decision.
Well, I'm not talking about him specific. I'm not talking about him as a director. I'm talking about the movie in general just being bad. The whole thing with Green Goblin doesn't make any sense.
You mean New Goblin?
Yeah, that doesn't stop. What was that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that movie is pretty stupid. Well, like, generally, I don't think...
And the worst part is, they had... Oh, shoot, what's his name? The Green Goblin guy.
Willem Dafoe?
They had Willem Dafoe, and they just made him a talking mirror.
Because he died in the first one.
Bring him back, then. There's a man made out of sand and an evil version of Spider-Man covered in black goo.
So,
you can freaking back.
What you're telling me here is you hated the Sandman retcon because it was a retcon and that's stupid. But you're okay with them magically bringing Willem Dafoe back to life just so he can fight Spider-Man again.
Well, that's not a retcon. They could just make him come back somehow.
With magic?
Who cares how they do it?
Just shoot him with a lightning
A
bolt?
retcon would be like if there was a flashback that he had where it turns out that the version of the Green Goblin that got stabbed was a hologram and Willem Dafoe was actually alive the whole time. That would be a retcon. If he was dead and, I don't know, let's say the new Goblin finds a secret cult of people that worship an ancient Green Goblin guy. They bring him back to life. Now he's all monstery because he's part of this magic cult.
Sam, this is the dumbest idea you've ever had in your entire life.
This is way less dumb than the movie.
You're replacing New Goblin with magic Green Goblin cult.
Yeah, that's way cooler.
An ancient Goblin man resurrects Willem Dafoe with mysticism and makes him a monster who goes on a rampage. Just because you don't want James Franco in a dumb outfit.
Yeah.
Those are exorbitant lengths to go to for your own
I'd say those are all preferable to what you got.
Imagine what would have happened if that happened in the actual movie.
People would probably like the
People
movie
would hate it and they'd think it was... That's like a Halloween 6 style.
People already hate the movie.
Because, you know, the obvious thing to do in your Spider-Man movie is introduce an ancient cult.
They introduced alien slime that turns you mean, except for sometimes it doesn't. They introduced a man who's made out of dirt.
Spider-Man writers take
doesn't
notes.
even look
Green
like
Goblin cult.
Yeah, do it. It's better than what you did.
Oh my god.
All right, anyway. All right, Last of Us TV series officially begins production. Pull up the picture. We got
You
a
know what
picture.
happens when I try to pull
Well,
things
just
up.
don't share it, but just pull it up.
You know what happened?
Keep talking.
Search pictures.
All right, someone on Twitter who was like just a fan of the game, but who is also a celebrity, was like, "Oh man, I thought that this was a screenshot from the game. I couldn't even tell that it was in real life." And I was like, "Okay, well then you're just stupid. It has nothing to do with the quality of the show. You're just a dum-dum."
No, Sam. The game is so realistic. You can't tell.
Well, they were trying to be like, "Oh, he looks so much like the guy from the game." I'm like,
You mean
can
the
only
back
see
of his head from a distance?
So
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure any muscular dude from behind would look like him
Here we go.
from the game.
Oh my gosh. I have to scroll through a million things to find.
Why didn't? How is it? How did you?
Okay,
not?
hang on. It's loading.
All right.
Okay, I'm not going to pull it up.
Why not? You wasted all this time pulling it up, and now you don't. What are you doing? How are you
can't-
this bad at using Google?
You- I don't like. What do you want me like? I don't know what.
Pull up the picture.
I don't know what to search up to find it.
Just the Last of Us HBO series picture. It'll probably come up.
Let's see.
Did it come up?
Nope. I did get a lot of pictures of the actors' faces. That's about it.
All right, whatever. It's a picture
Just
of...
look it up if you want to see it. It just looks like a frame from the game. It's not anything special.
It's just what's the name of the guy?
Joel. It's Joel and Ellie.
It's Joel and Ellie's heads. From
Yeah,
behind.
and they're just like standing in a field.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right. Barbara Broccoli.
Real name.
Her real name's Barbara Broccoli.
Barbara Broccoli. Real
she's
thing.
She's not a VeggieTales character. Her real name's Barbara
Real
Broccoli.
name is Barbara Broccoli.
All right.
Like one of those
Anyways,
characters from the
she revealed
Lego
that the
City
hunt
set.
for the next James Bond will begin next. Who is this person? I don't care at all about the story. Who the heck is Barbara Broccoli?
Sam.
Why do we know who this is, and why is she announcing James Bond-related things?
She has been one of the producers of the James Bond franchise for like 40 years.
We
You know,
can't
there's
have
like-
a new James Bond.
Patrick, we've had like 12 new James Bonds.
Patrick, there's
Why
been...
don't they just stop making new James Bonds?
Because that's the only thing.
Because
they
you
have.
don't stop at 25.
I have a funny story
When do you stop?
about James Bond.
You don't.
When the heat death of the universe is
When he
concluded,
stops making money.
which he already has,
Do
but
you think he'll ever
they'll-
stop making money?
No, No Time to Die is doing very well overseas right now.
No,
Last
it's
night
not.
when I was
That's a lie.
when I was watching Venom, there was a trailer for James Bond, and there was like two people sitting next to us, and at the end, you know, it shows the 007, and the guys went, "Wait, there's 6 of them?" I'm like, guys.
Oh no, they're so stupid. How can you wait, there's a living person who believes that he's called 007 because it's the 7th movie and not because that.
I almost wanted to
What
correct
kind
him,
of
but I
rock
didn't.
were you raised under?
Well, he's been blissfully unaware of the entire James...
How do you
How do you not...
How do you avoid James
Well, okay.
Bond for your entire
Obviously,
life?
he's seen none of them. Because you would instantly know that that's his code name.
He went to a movie theater. Like, he knows what movies are.
Patrick, what are you
Have you
doing?
seen Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah, there's the whole Phineas and Ferb. There's like 3 episodes with that parody 008 character. How do you go that long without... I mean, he still doesn't know. No one told him.
The guy he was next to...
We have to go back in time.
Sam. Okay,
Marty, get in the machine.
We're kicking the microphone so bad.
Before you
But,
destroy our audio.
but like, the guy who was next to him either also thinks that, or just hasn't bothered to tell
Or
his
just
friends.
has a
ever.
sociopathic determination to keep him in this loop.
He just wants his friends to always.
You know what?
No.
I applaud him for being blissfully
Wait, did
unaware.
anyone correct him?
How old was he?
They were probably like Sam's age, so like 20, maybe like 22.
So he's been alive for like the entire Daniel
He was
Craig
alive
James Bond
for that
franchise.
Olympic opening ceremony where James Bond jumps out of a helicopter with the Queen. Did he just think that Daniel Craig just wanted to jump out of a helicopter?
Daniel Craig was just like,
What?
"Oh, guys."
I'm so confused. How does that happen?
Like, I don't get
How
about
do you
James
think
Bond
that
at all.
it's 007? But do you think they're gonna make 100 movies?
I'm anticipating.
Yeah, I was thinking
No. I'm anticipating when the next one comes out and he goes, I thought the last one
I
was
thought
the
the number 7 was the last movie.
No, I was like, wait, do you think they put 3 numbers because they're gonna make hundreds of movies?
Yeah, what?
Like, what?
They're anticipating now that eventually they'll make it to 999.
I
They're on
don't.
number 7 now, but they're gonna make.
I
hundreds.
literally can't comprehend
Anyway,
that mindset of living in that much of a bubble.
back to the main topic though.
What even was
That they're going
Right,
to start
James
the hunt
Bond.
for the next James Bond. Sam, who would you like the next James Bond to be?
They should hire Daniel Craig. He'd be good at it.
Yeah, he's never done
How many?
before either.
How many British? Let me look up British actors.
They should get
Dude, they should get John Boyega.
Tom Holland.
Actors. Let's say under 30, because we
Get
need.
Tom
I think the 4 people that are like most like that have like the most hype for him. Are,
Oh, you know what? It'll be John Boyega.
people want.
No, it'll be Tom.
No, it'll be John Boyega.
They'll get
I
Tom
just
Holland.
said
'Cause
John
didn't they-
Boyega.
Yeah, didn't they say that they wanted him to be black?
They didn't say they wanted him to. People are saying
Who
he should.
cares? I just think John Boyega would be good at it.
I think the
Yeah, Idris Elba.
the 3 people people are saying is Henry Cavill, Tom Hardy, and
Henry
Idris Elba.
Cavill's too old now.
He's not that old.
He's like in his late 30s, early 40s.
He's
right?
in his mid 30s.
Is he younger than Daniel Craig?
Yeah, he's way younger than Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig's old.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Idris Elba.
Also, they don't go like Henry Cavill was in contention to do it back when Casino Royale came out, but he was too young then.
They should
Are
get
they
Dan.
still planning on making
No. Okay. Hear me out. Daniel Radcliffe. That would be the funniest James Bond movie ever.
Even funnier than Casino Royale, the 67 version.
Oh,
Like the video, if you get that reference.
even funnier than the what was the one where they were in Japan and he like got his
Oh,
face surgery.
the
to
one
make
where he
himself look
has
like
to
a
become
man,
Japanese?
and he just taped his eyes.
Oh,
back
I
and
forget which
closed
one that
in.
one is.
And he had a bunch of like Japanese female servants for the whole movie because, and I quote, "In Japan, the men come first." That's a real quote from the movie.
You're a spy.
That seems like not okay.
Oh, it's not. It's super messed up.
Okay, it's You Only Live Twice is that one.
Yeah, you only live twice.
You're a spy, James.
It would be even funnier than that one. Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay, but seriously, who
James
do you think
Bond.
it's gonna be?
They should
I
Idris Elba.
don't-
He's so cool.
Yeah, I think Idris Elba. Would actually
I
be
would
good.
I would like it to be Idris Elba, but he might be too old. Like he could
No,
do
he
it.
could do
How
it.
old is he? He's like
He's in his
20s, isn't
he's in his mid 40s. I mean,
What?
like
No, he's not.
yeah, he
He
is.
is.
No, he's not.
Oh no, he's almost 50.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 49.
Did you look it up?
He's 29, you moron.
Idris Elba.
Oh, Idris. I'm talking about John Boyega.
What?
Idris Elba's way too
We
old.
said I just.
He's way too old.
No, but he would be cool though.
Yeah, Idris Elba's 49.
If it was
Yeah, no. If it was like 10 years.
if
ago,
it was
he
10
would've been
years
great.
ago, he could do it. But like he's
You should get Paul
probably too old now.
No, I think John Boyega
Boyega
needs
would
to be
be-
James.
He could do it. How old's John Boyega?
He's 29.
Yeah, he's
He could
yeah,
make-
he'd be
he-
old
he
enough
could
by the
make
time
at
it
least
comes
like
out.
20 James Bond movies.
I think he would probably do like 3. They asked Henry Cavill about it, and he said he would play a villain in it. He wouldn't do it.
Yeah, didn't he already play a villain?
He played. He was
yeah,
a.
he was the mustache villain. That's why his face.
He was a mustache
yeah.
villain. That was Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's okay. That's the same thing. They're the same thing.
But
You can't convince me those are different things.
I think they should find a guy who actually wants to do it, unlike this last James Bond.
Tom Holland. Hear me out.
If Sony was making them still, it would be Tom Holland.
No.
Yeah, it definitely
Hear
would
me
be.
out. Tom Holland.
But Tom
is
Holland
the
is
younger
too young.
apprentice.
He's got too much of a baby
He's
face.
too young, and he's also that's like
You got to get like a suave, like
Yeah.
sexy dude. Like no one, like a lot of people like have like crushes on Tom Holland, but he's not like the suave, sexy dude. He's like
the little boy who
he's
talks
like the
like
little,
this.
little baby man.
Yeah. And also he's already Spider-Man and Nathan Drake, and I'm sure they're planning on doing 7 Uncharted movies.
Yeah.
So that's a lot for him to be doing at once. Yeah, John Boyega would be good. If they got him, that wouldn't be
They
bad.
should get Timothy Chalamet.
What are some people from Ted Lasso? Because there's a lot of like British dudes.
You
in
want
that
you want Nate?
show. Nate?
I saw some people like seriously recommending. No.
Absolutely not. No, not unless he has like a secret
Not unless
double character that he can play.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
He kind of talks like a little mousy man, doesn't he? All right.
So we're locking in John Boyega.
I would put my money, especially because he's literally not doing anything else right now.
Yeah, no, he's not working.
Unless they're making a third.
Unless
Pacific Rim movie,
unless that Finn show actually ends up happening.
which I doubt it will, because Disney just hates John Boyega for some reason.
Disney has not been good to our boy.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, hang on. Okay. Yeah.
They should get Benedict Cumberbatch.
Anyway, in reality, it'll probably be an actor no one's ever heard of before.
Yeah,
It'll be an
it
unknown.
might be just a totally unknown. Oh, what if it's
Tom
Chris
Hiddleston.
Hemsworth?
Tom.
He's Australian.
So,
It's gotta be British, Sam.
is Henry Cavill British?
They can do a
Yes.
British
I thought
accent.
he was American.
Sam, do you know what happened? The British press will tear him apart if he is not British. You know what they did? They criticized Daniel Craig for being James Bond just because he was blonde. You think if they cast an Australian man that they won't burn the entire country of Australia to the ground?
I don't think they can. I think it will do that to itself. James who?
James McAvoy.
Who's that?
Max has just looked up British actors and is just listing them off
No,
one
I'm
by
just saying
one.
the ones that I've seen before.
Should be Judi
James
Dench.
McAvoy. No. Are you stupid?
No, it'll be an unknown.
Daniel
Fassbender. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think the biggest
Daniel
problem with it
Radcliffe.
is the ones that people really want to do it are too old now.
It'll be Daniel Radcliffe. You watch.
It will be,
How funny would it be if it
People
actually is?
people will riot if it's Daniel
they'll
Radcliffe.
I don't think they
It
would.
would be Tom Cruise.
he should You should do Bond and just be making Mission Impossible and Bond movies at the same time and just confuse the crap out of everybody.
Confuse everyone.
Make that and then also Jack Reacher.
No. They'll keep making Mission Impossible movies, but they'll get Daniel Craig for Mission Impossible. Just really
Just
confuse
swap
everyone.
them. Just swap them and see what happens.
I think they'll get Patrick Stewart for the.
I think they should do. They're going to do a full James Bond reboot, an American reboot. So he's going to work for the CIA now instead of whatever the British version of the CIA is.
Instead of MI6, he just works for the CIA.
Yeah.
How
You should
fun.
get John Cena.
And it'll be John Cena. And he'll have a sidekick. He'll have a sidekick, 006, and it'll be The Rock. And it'll be John Cena and The Rock, and they'll fight terrorism together.
No, that's not good. What you do is you cast big muscle American man as James Bond. He needs a small squirmy sidekick to be his sidekick.
Wait, we need a small... No, we need a small British woman. Like a... what are some British woman actors?
Holland.
Who?
Tom Holland in a wig.
Tom Holland in a wig. Just a cross-dressing Tom Holland and John Cena for the American reboot of James Bond.
A little woman.
You know. All right, shit.
This is the weirdest tangent we've ever gone on.
Amazon's working on it right now.
Amazon's like,
What?
Oh my God, they're genius.
It's gonna make for an interesting clip.
Dude.
All right, let's move on. Ridley Scott says Gladiator 2. What?
Remember the movie Gladiator?
No one remembers the movie
No one
Gladiator.
cares.
That was
Sam-
like 70 years
No,
ago.
it was 21 years ago.
That's still too many years ago.
People love Gladiator.
Show them next door.
It is good, but okay. Ridley Scott says Gladiator 2 is being written and will begin production next year.
Oh, great, awesome. Okay, Sony's still planning on building a live-action Sinister Six movie. Okay, cool, Sony. Great.
It's back.
Awesome.
Sam.
Oh, Patrick, do you care if we spoil something major for the MCU? Because we will be doing that in our Venom review.
Is Venom part of the MCU?
That's the
Kind of.
spoiler.
Well, yeah, you already did it.
Okay, anyway.
Oops.
Sam, who do you think should be in a Sinister Six movie?
Didn't we already say this last time? Didn't we go on a whole
No, we
rant
went
about
on a who it will be in No Way Home. But like if they
It'll
build,
be the same.
well, because I think they want to use it would be characters from like the solo movies they're doing. So it'd be like Venom, Morbius.
Okay, so
Kraven.
just swap out the Scorpion for Kraven, and then there you go.
All right, cool.
I don't understand why this is what they're building toward. Like the Sinister Six is not.
But they're the only
Kind of lame.
They're the
villain
only
team
team that
that's-
Sony owns.
Yeah.
It's like they've been trying to do this since the Avengers came out, specifically for that reason.
Oh no, they want to do a Suicide Squad.
I mean, that's probably they'll end up being good.
They
and
will
they'll have to
make
fight
it, yeah.
someone.
So they will make it. They'll do a Suicide Squad. They'll make it so that there's the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
And they're a government-led secret black ops team of villains with bombs in their heads who, if they don't do what they say, they get blowed up.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be the villains from the last couple Spider-Man movies.
And also Spider-Man.
And they'll be in Bel Rev. I mean, some other superhero prison.
What
What is
the
the Marvel
I think the
version of
Sony
that?
has. I think Sony has the rights to the Raft, so they'll be in the Raft.
Yeah.
So call it the self-endangerment squad.
When they were
the self-harm squad.
Ooh, age restriction on this video. When they were trying to develop this movie about 6 years ago, they thought about changing the name to something else so that kids wouldn't be spooked by it. So instead of the Sinister Six, they'd be like the Super Six.
Wait a minute. So hang on. In a world where there's a superhero team called the Suicide Squad, Sinister Six was too spooky.
Sony thought it was too spooky. Coke maybe didn't want to buy ads on that one.
Oh, let's go watch
Okay,
Sinister.
it's fine.
We'll use that.
Let's go watch
It's
Suicide
fine. Whatever.
Anyway.
Whatever, Sony. Okay.
I love Sony. We all love
Sony
Sony.
is the best at doing movies, guys.
Sony, we all do sponsorships for you.
Are
We
so-
don't care.
How is Sony just the worst at
You guys-
everything they
I
do?
feel like the product placement has just become like way more obvious.
Oh, it was so funny in Venom 2 when there's just a trailer for Free Fire playing like front and center on the TV in the background, and the camera's not focused on the characters, but on the trailer for Free Fire 2 that's in the background. And when he's like getting off his motorcycle and the camera pans, stops directly at the motorcycle's name, and then keeps going back up to the character.
All right, up next.
You gotta show the motorcycle.
All right, up next is probably one of our biggest stories of the week.
Yeah, so this is interesting.
Okay, so basically here's what's happening. So in United States copyright law, there is a thing where after a certain period of time, characters created by a person that were given to a company, so say like the guys who created Superman, they gave it to DC, DC took it, they own him. After a certain period of time, the rights should relapse to the creators if the creators or
Choose to do that.
or their estates choose to reclaim them. What's happening?
100 years?
It's not 100 years. It's less than that.
It's like
I think it's 40.
Yeah.
For public domain, it's 100 years.
Well, but that's only
Yeah.
because that'll increase here in the next couple of years because
Yeah.
Disney will lobby for Congress to do it because
They do it to keep Mickey Mouse out.
Every
of the
single
public
time
domain.
Mickey Mouse's copyright comes up, the date gets pushed back another 15 years.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
Anyway, so what's happening at Marvel is the estates of Steve Ditko and Stan Lee are filing to reclaim a bunch of characters they created, including Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, other people.
A lot of the big
Big players. The person who is representing them in court also represented the lawyers of
DC.
the families of the creators of Superman.
Yeah.
He ended up losing that case, but he did get a pretty good deal out of it.
It is literally almost a shot, like a tit for tat redo of that case with Superman.
Yeah, though
The
on a
same
larger
lawyer-
scale
The same lawyer that was representing DC
is
is
representing.
representing Marvel, and the same lawyer that represented the family of the people that made Superman is representing the family that made Spider-Man.
So those of you familiar with the current Friday the 13th rights lawsuit will be pretty familiar with. It's the same thing that's going on here,
So none of you?
where if the estates of Steve Ditko and Stan Lee win, Marvel will lose the rights completely
yeah,
to all of the related characters in June of 2023.
yeah.
And what that would mean is, one, the estates could literally could sell the movie
They could
rights,
just sell them
comic
back,
rights,
yeah.
the rights to them in general to anyone, not just Marvel. They could literally sell it to DC at that
Yeah.
point.
Here you go, Tim from Ireland.
But
You get Marvel.
obviously Disney is countersuing, and they will likely end up
Winning.
winning. But what the families of Ditko and Lee are not doing this to reclaim the rights. They're doing this
To set a precedent.
not only to set a precedent, they also would like a percentage of the income from these characters,
Yeah.
which is likely what they'll end up
Which
negotiating
makes
for.
sense
They're gonna
because...
what they're gonna do is they're gonna go through the whole thing, and then someone will win. If they win, the people who want the rights back, if they win, they're just gonna sell. They're just gonna make a deal with Disney.
No, they're just going to settle outside of court. Disney's
Yeah.
going to give them like 10% of
5%.
all revenue from movies with those characters
and
or whatever.
Stan Lee and Steve Ditko are already credited as creators on all the Spider-Man stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about the rest of.
I think the rest of it is just Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Because it always says
And-
based on characters created
Yeah.
by Stan Lee and
So
Jack
that
Kirby.
would then set a precedent for other characters, other creators to also get deals where they get credit for
Which
all
is
the
good.
characters.
I mean, it's good to
Which
have
is good.
them
They should be
represented.
credited for the stuff they did. It's been a big deal in comics for the past about 20
Ever
years.
since they started making movies.
Yeah.
Where-
I want that guy that made Venom in that fan competition be credited in the Venom movies, guys.
But-
He deserves credit.
Stop talking.
I want
You don't know what
him.
you're talking about. Anyway, Marvel. But like, what would end up happening? Now I've lost my train of thought. But
They will settle outside of court for like
they will settle outside of court.
either 5 or 10% of all revenue.
The family
from
will
movies.
make a bunch of money. They'll go away. Other people will come up. They'll probably negotiate something similar. Marvel will end up having to pay certain amounts of money to all these families
Yeah.
for what they've done.
The Men of
And you
Medieval
saw
step
Scarlett Johansson in Disney.
We're gonna talk about that, Patrick. It's coming up next.
outside of court.
It's coming up next. But
We don't really need this on here anymore because
Well,
we have this is no longer relevant.
what?
The
Why'd you
So-
take
Venom
that?
set to make 80 million.
It's not set. Stop it.
Yeah,
Why'd you do
it
that?
already made more than that. We don't need that there anymore.
Okay.
I already put it on here over here. Don't worry
Just
about it.
leave it.
We don't need it. We don't.
Where'd
need
you
it.
put it?
I just deleted it.
Why?
And put it anywhere because we don't need it.
Yes, we do.
For what?
Let's gotta talk about it next.
But why? We it's over here for one. It's already over here in this part. And
What-
two,
what part is
It's
it?
redundant and it's not accurate.
What part is it in?
It's in the business part.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
That's
so-
Shang-Chi, Sam.
Not Shang-Chi, you dum-dum.
Let me see.
Oh, wait, I put it on here. Did it not show up?
No,
Okay.
I updated it.
Well, they made 100 million. so I don't know why you
No,
put
they
Abe in
didn't.
it. Yeah, they did.
Okay, shush. We'll talk about it next. Anyway, and then the other Disney lawsuit that's been in the news, the Scarlett Johansson. Disney and her have settled out of court.
Of course.
Because that's what you do.
Obviously.
Disney showed up to her house with a truck full of cash, and they went, "Here's some cash. Never speak of this again. Drop your lawsuit." And she went.
And then she's like, "Wow, I'm so happy to collaborate with you in the future."
Yeah.
Here's your millions of dollars.
And so
I mean, that's what she wanted anyway.
the Tower of Terror movie she was producing has not been canceled now because they're friends
It's
again.
been uncanceled.
Yes.
Well, they're friends because she made a lot of money.
Yeah. So good for her. She made some cash. Maybe like tell people what you're doing, Disney, before you do it. This won't be a big issue. All right. A Warner Brothers executive agrees that they rushed into the day and date HBO Max decision made late last year.
Well, you don't think? What are you talking about? You don't say? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you think
Why would you
that.
even say that, bro? Like, I mean, that's such a crazy thing to
What
say.
happened?
The Warner Bros. Executive agrees that they rushed into the day and date HBO Max release decision a little too fast.
What's day and day?
You know how they release every Warner Brothers movie on the same day and time
Oh, that.
on HBO Max? Yeah, that.
Hey guys, when
That's
was
actually a poorly thought out decision.
Yep.
All right. Shang-Chi becomes the first ever pandemic movie to gross $200 million domestically.
Woo!
Because it's like the first good pandemic movie.
No, there has been other
There was
stuff.
A Quiet Place 2, and there was probably another one.
Godzilla vs. Kong was okay.
We watched it.
Free Guy was okay.
Free Guy was good,
Free Guy was
How much did Free
good.
Guy make?
but it didn't make that much money.
It's been doing pretty well.
It made
It's-
enough,
It hasn't
but
been
not
making
that
as
much
much as
money.
Shang-Chi
Yeah.
did. But that's good. Obviously, that movie will not open in China, which was his main
Which
point
was
of
the whole
existing.
point, but whatever.
Wait, why can't it be in China?
China don't like.
China is mad at Simu Liu for saying that China
bad.
sucks and is abusive and horrible to its people. And China was like, "No, we're not.
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you say such things?
We love you, Chinese Communist government."
Yeah, let us be seen.
I don't think
We
I
won't.
don't think we're banned in China.
Not
YouTube's
yet.
banned.
Not yet, anyways.
They haven't found my secret files. So.
Anyway,
On China? What do you mean secret? What are you talking about?
I just have a Google Docs.
A Google
That
Doc
says-
titled "Why China Government is Bad."
No, it just has one sentence, and it's just I don't like the China government. And then
Victoria Alonso
Anyways.
says that Marvel Studios currently has 31 projects in development. These are in various states of where they are.
Yeah, okay, this doesn't really mean anything.
That includes movies, TV shows, animated shows,
could literally just be
specials.
like a director spit on a piece of paper and was like, "Guys, we're making a Marvel spit character movie."
But the main point of this piece of news
This is just everything they're working on. So it
is
could be
like
literally anything.
that's so much stuff though.
But this is
That's a lot.
everything they're working on.
Yeah, but like, well, that's
That's a-
Marvel
That-
Studios.
at any point in time, that would have been a lot of stuff.
I mean, they have like Hawkeye, Spider-Man,
Do you-
Eternals.
Yeah, they have.
At what point do they oversaturate it though?
They already no. Okay,
Never.
it is so like talking to other people who are not as big of fans as Marvel as we are. Most people have absolutely no clue what the MCU even is or what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know what is and what isn't, or when the next thing.
The
is.
amount of times I've had to explain to people that the Eternals are a Marvel movie is too many times. It says Marvel on it. Read it.
Oh, look, yes, Superman.
And then the brand confusion with Sony characters
And
having-
DC. There's
trying
still-
to explain to people why Venom both is and isn't part of the Marvel universe is the most confusing thing ever.
There's also still brand confusion with like DC.
Yeah, I have friends who will be like, wait, so Iron Man and Superman, are they friends? And I'm like, no, they exist in, that's a different thing. And Patrick, what are you doing? What is that? Why is the dolphin have a pig head?
Patrick, you doing okay there, boy? you little lonely in
All
there?
right, that one's better. All right.
Anyway, but the point is here is that like eventually Marvel is going to get to a point where not only are they like physically like overdoing themselves, where there's too much stuff to keep track of, but also creatively it's going to be such a mess because there will be so many different plot lines in where things are going.
As soon as you do multiverse,
Yeah.
your universe completely falls apart.
Once you open,
Continuity is impossible to maintain.
once you open that lid, you can't put it back on
Yeah.
because it's
You
a
just have to reboot the universe.
what they're gonna have to end up doing at some point is just a hard reset and recast everyone.
And
they're
running out of avenues to do that in a way that wouldn't alienate longtime viewers.
Yeah, I mean, what they'd end up having to do is like
I mean, how many people do you know that are watching What If?
no one.
I know one person and he's only seen a couple episodes, and it's because I told him, watch these episodes specifically, skip the rest.
Yeah, I watched the
I haven't
zombies.
watched What If.
At all.
So.
Watch the Doctor Strange one, watch the zombie one, watch the last one. The rest don't matter.
I watched Thor too. That one
The Thor one is fun, but it's not important.
that was like the most lighthearted one. Cause
I don't know. It's just. I think Disney's gonna have to find a new franchise to make their Marvel.
What?
I don't think they're going to do that.
Oh, I mean,
They're definitely not going to do
maybe
that.
if they put a little bit more effort in.
I think they will
Star
wait.
Wars.
They will do 1 or 2 more phases, and then they will hard shift into X-Men. And they won't say that X-Men is a totally different thing from Marvel, but they will pretend it is. They will pretend X-Men is. What are you doing?
I'm just taking it over here for a second. It's fine. Just keep talking.
Everybody look at the
Yeah.
Jason man.
They will.
Disney's plan is to exhaust everything Marvel and try to get Star Wars up to the same prevalence as Marvel, and then just make Star Wars the new Marvel.
No, they're not going to do that at all. Here's what they're going to do.
There's no way.
They're going to exhaust the creative potential of all Marvel properties, excluding the X-Men. Then, because they know X-Men has enough source material to basically progenate its own universe, they will basically just stop making regular MCU stuff, hard shift into making X-Men stuff, and pretend that they're different brands. That's what they'll do.
I don't think they've run out of stuff to do yet. There's still plenty of storylines.
But they're running out of good storylines.
They're running out of popular stuff
Yeah.
from the 80s and 90s, which is the core fan base is from that era.
They're starting to get to the modern
They're
stuff.
starting to get to the modern stuff, which is not only
as
less popular,
cohesive.
but also people are generally unfamiliar with it.
It's also not as cohesive because
Yeah.
of all the multiverse, quantum physics stuff that is
Well,
plaguing modern
that
superhero
and
stories.
after the comic crash in the 90s, less people have been reading comics.
Yeah.
So less people are familiar with it, less people are fans of it. There's less people to drive normies
And the stories
to
are
go
more
see
complex,
it.
which alienates people
Yeah.
further. And
So
they were quickly reaching that issue.
okay. So Marvel, that's a lot of things. Maybe they'll do it good, or maybe they won't. All right, real quick, let's talk about this week's episode of What If.
It was really cool.
It was
This one was good.
This was a neat one.
Now, there is a major gaping plot hole that this creates.
Which is what?
major gut-blushing, blood-empty plot hole that this creates.
Sam, hang on real quick. You want to go into spoilers immediately for this episode?
Well, it's What If. No one's watching What If.
Yeah, no, right.
Spoilers, obviously, but you're not watching, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
if you haven't seen it, you don't care.
Yeah. Vision can canonically just have cut Thanos in half. Why didn't he do that?
Yeah, okay.
Why?
He literally just went
Yeah,
zoop, and he's cut in half and he's dead. Why didn't he do that?
I think, obviously, well, okay, but
Now, I know they had
They
to...
really-
obviously, you understand why they did that.
They did
though.
it for... What If is a representation of what could happen. The visuals are just an aid for a means to for the story to exist.
Yeah.
The visuals are not exactly how that story would play out if it were to play out.
They have a-
If that were to play out in a feature-length scenario, there would have been a fight, and Vision would have won somehow, maybe not necessarily cutting him in half,
They really
and they also needed the episode to work.
underpowered Vision in
no.
the MCU a bunch.
Well, sort of. That's
Like,
not really...
he
I
wouldn't
think-
really do, anything.
most of the episode, the big thing in that episode is the Watcher versus Ultron fight.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been a lot if half the episode, it was a big Thanos fight and then another big
Yeah.
Watcher fight. You kind of want the big Watcher fight to be the big deal of it.
Yeah.
So I understand. It makes perfect sense why they did that. I think the biggest thing in this episode is just what is the multiverse? How does it work? Why is it just a big corridor of reflective crystals?
I think that is how
Oh my
fourth
gosh.
dimensional people view the multiverse. I don't know if that's necessarily how
Yeah.
a third-dimensional being would view the multiverse. We are not fourth
How
dimensional.
did Ultron smash through the mirror?
Because he's
Can you
fourth
get to
dimensional.
it?
Also, could
At that point, he
Ultron-
was in a higher dimension than everyone else.
Could Ultron
Also,
just
if the
take
main
the
Marvel
Infinity
universe
Stones?
exists in the same universe as the Marvel Comics universe, why do the Infinity Stones work in other dimensions in the
Yeah, that doesn't
MCU
make
stuff
any
and not
sense.
in the comic stuff?
'Cause they just
Are they
can't
different
cover
versions of the Infinity
Okay,
Stones in
well,
the different realities?
If there are infinite universes, that means in one or more than one... In infinite universes, there are infinite universes where those universes have Infinity Stones that work in other universes.
I guess so.
So
Because that's how
technically-
infinity works.
Technically, Ultron could just take a bunch of these super duper crazy.
Technically, there are
powerful
infinite
Infinity Stones.
Ultrons that should be fighting the Watcher. Because there's only one Watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there
there's
should
more.
be infinite
No,
Ultrons.
There's more than one.
There's one, but there's
we've
only
been
one for
following
Earth.
one.
There's only
for-
one for
Yeah.
Earth.
Well, we've been following just one
Yeah.
for this whole thing. But I liked that Watcher fight. I like the bit where the Watcher keeps narrating even though Ultron has noticed
Yeah.
him. He's like, I can't stop narrating.
And then he's like, wait a minute, what? Wait, this isn't supposed to happen. I think it's cool.
I like the fun Easter eggs when they're smashing through all the little realities. You got
Oh,
the
yeah,
one
did you see they
where
went to
Steve
Star
Rogers
Wars?
is the
Yeah,
president.
they
They
went
went
to
to
Darth
Mustafar for one of them.
Yeah,
I guess that's a thing.
that's a.
It's a fun
that's
They
cameo.
also
It doesn't
mentioned
really-
the Death Star when Nat and Clint were talking about the files.
Oh yeah, they did say Death Star.
I also like that fun bit where they're where the Watcher's like mad because it's right there. And
Yeah, he's like, open the
it's
box.
like, it's right there.
Open the box.
He was this close to interfering, but I get.
Yeah.
Does
He
having a
kinda did.
big fight
Yeah,
count
I
as
thought that was
interfering?
He's not choosing to do that though.
That's true.
Ultron's
Yeah.
just sort of beating
Ultron's
him up.
making him.
Yeah, because he wasn't even fighting back for the first like half.
Yeah,
of the
he was
fight.
just like,
He was
stop.
just like, what is even happening? This isn't even
he-
supposed to be.
I like
possible.
Ultron's
break his
big
oath.
big lance. It's like a big gray
Yeah, he
lance
just has
thing.
a giant lance.
He had moderate.
Why did Thanos not become like multiversal when he got
Because
the
he didn't
Infinity
destroy
Stones?
the.
No,
rest of
because
the
he didn't
universe.
care.
Oh yeah,
Because once he did his
once
mission,
his
he
thing,
didn't care
stopped.
anymore.
No, but the only reason that Ultron could hear the Watcher is because he destroyed everything else in the universe. So that it was like super duper silent. In the
Yeah.
Infinity Stones.
Well, the reason Ultron did it is because like he fulfilled his thing, and then he was like, "Well, what do I do
And then
now?"
he went
So I
into
think-
monk meditation mode and then came to the conclusion, wait a minute, I can keep doing this
I'll just do this
somewhere
to
else.
everyone.
There's a limit to the power that Thanos can use with the Infinity Stones because he's not a robot. So, I mean,
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, Ultron never did, because like Thanos got like all banged up because he did like the
Yeah.
one big thing.
but I
Ultron never did that. He was just
He
using
was
them all
just using
individually.
them
Yeah.
individually.
Yeah, so that
constantly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It ended on a fun cliffhanger. The Watchers teaming up with
Yeah, why
Spooky
didn't
Doctor
why didn't
Strange.
why didn't Ultron just go and kill everyone? Why did he go,
Thanos need
like-
every stone at once to kill half the people?
because that's what it is.
In the comic books, they explain it better, but you need an aspect from each of the individual stones in order to achieve that specific feat. They didn't explain it in the movies.
Get all the magic rocks, do the big thing.
Yeah.
That's what's really.
I don't
matters.
wonder. I wonder why Ultron didn't just go boop and then he would have just
Just-
killed
yeah, because
everyone.
Thanos.
I don't
Because
know
that's
why
not as much
he
fun.
bothered going from place to place.
Well,
Killing
maybe he
everyone
didn't know
manually.
he could do
He
that.
was on manual mode the whole time.
Because like
When he
Thanos
found
just
Thanos,
flashed-
he was like, "What are these rocks?" Like he didn't really know what
Ooh,
they
fancy
did.
rocks.
Thanos just,
But
like,
he has
flesh
the
and blood,
Mind Stone.
so-
He would have instantly known what they did.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
He had all knowledge.
It's not a.
Plus,
The
I feel
episode wouldn't be as long if that's what happened. That's
Yeah.
why.
Plus, I feel like Ultron.
This was also the
better.
shortest episode of What If.
Yeah, which makes sense because it was set up for the finale. They
Yeah.
were getting us familiar with the main villain.
Because we got to get the what did they
Oh, is there a
the
main
Guardians of the
villain
Multiverse, I think is what they're going to be called.
Yeah. What, Patrick?
Patrick.
Patrick?
What?
What'd you
What'd
say?
How's there a main villain in an anthology series?
That's just how it be. Sometimes.
Because it's an anthology, and when there is infinity things must happen.
Okay.
Because the show needs a finale, and so they have to all team up and fight a big guy.
Even though logically that doesn't make a whole lot of
Doesn't
sense.
matter.
Anyways,
Doesn't matter. Here's a question. Who is the Watcher narrating to? Himself?
us.
So he can see the audience.
Yeah. He's in a different okay. All of the MCU exists in a dimension that is
Does
lower
Ultron
than ours
know there's
because it
an
is
audience?
fiction. It exists in a dimension that is lower than ours because it is fiction.
Uh-huh.
he exists in a space between fiction and our world where he can't actually affect our world, but he can talk to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like Deadpool.
Mm-hmm. But
That's the
does Ultron now know there's an audience?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he could hypothetically try to kill us, but him knowing that he would come to the realization that he is fiction and can't do that.
Neat.
Which could be how they end the show,
Series
but I don't
makes
know.
a lot of sense.
I can't wait for all of our favorite
Multiverse
characters.
physics are confusing.
Multiverse is absurd and makes really no sense.
In the words of Doctor Strange, it is a concept of which we know frighteningly little.
Anyway,
Because it is frighteningly impossible to comprehend.
let's get to the main event
Venom.
of this week.
Let there be carnage.
We'll start off with some box office real quick. So right now, it's heading towards the fourth best domestic opening of October with 71.3 million. However, industry estimates are still saying that it could go higher than 81 million, which would be the second best for the month, obviously behind Joker, which came out in 2019. It's doing pretty well for Pandemic. That's about it had a massive Friday, the second best of Pandemic with 37 million, right behind Black Widow. Pretty okay Rotten Tomato score. It's around 63%.
That sounds about right.
Which is better
it wasn't
than-
great.
That's kind of bad.
Which is better than the first Venom, which sat at like a really low 30.
Yeah, the first Venom was really, really bad.
So I'm gonna pull up my notes
You
here
tell
real
me you
quick.
didn't like the big two groups fighting in a black
All right.
background?
So before we
Those,
get
like,
into
blackish
spoilers here, overall, what'd you think of the movie without giving away any plot details?
Without any plot details, I mean, it was...
Except for the things Sam spoiled earlier.
If you've seen the
rate
trailer,
it a
that's
7 out
pretty
of
much
10.
the movie. Like,
Yeah.
that's...
I
If
will-
you thought the trailer was cool, you'll think the movie...
Better or worse than Venom 1?
It's better because of the choreography.
And also the groups are less
The
goofy,
setup,
so you can
yeah.
actually
Yeah.
tell
Like I said, the
what
choreography of the
what's
fight is better, and the setup is... it exists, which
Yeah.
inherently makes it better, because there is a setup to what
happening.
is
Last time it
happening.
was just like, you guys know life.
You guys know
right?
aliens.
Oh, you don't?
All
I
right.
don't care. He's got symbiotes. This dude's got symbiote. He's gonna fight big.
Yeah, this time they do a lot better job of explaining it. And I actually like how they changed the way that Carnage got made, because in the comics, Carnage just gets
Yeah.
spawned when he refuses with Eddie Brock. He just sort of pops out. Whereas in this one, he's actually like blood that he swallowed that had symbiote in it that developed into its own symbiote, which I think makes more sense, like biologically speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, I think there was a couple reasons. I rewatched Venom 1 like a couple weeks ago to get ready for this. And the thing that was most apparent about that movie to me was just how painfully dull and bland and boring it is.
Yeah.
There's barely anything to it. Tom Hardy's pretty fun. Not really any of the other actors are. The direction is just like
Horrible.
bland, potato boring.
Yeah.
Like Ruben Fleischer, who is actually, he was a pretty good director, but he's mostly a comedy guy.
Yeah.
And the thing with the first Venom is like there's so many
It wasn't
goofy
really-
elements of
Yeah.
it, but they treated itself seriously. And I know a lot
It
of
was taking it. This one took it. It didn't take itself nearly as seriously.
yeah,
took the-
it's
and
not.
it benefited a lot from
It took
that.
a
Yeah.
more Marvel approach, like MCU approach, where they do the comedy.
Where there's, like-
fighty.
There's like serious stuff happening.
Yeah, but there's
like
also,
the scale is serious, but the tone is not.
And I know a lot of people really enjoy that first Venom. They think it's like a goofy, fun time.
But it's not.
You're
just wrong.
It's not that for me,
not
like
a
at
goofy,
all.
fun
It's
time.
not.
It's a slog.
It's really boring. The third act. I know that's the problem with like all. That's the thing people say is a problem with all superhero movies is the third act. But like specifically with that first Venom,
because there is so little Venom in the movie, and when we do see him, it is so hard to see him.
Yeah.
It just sort of. It's very anticlimactic.
in comparison in comparison with the other character he's fighting in that movie, like you can barely tell them apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
at-
two giant blackish, grayish
Blobs.
goop monsters in a completely black night background fighting on a giant gray and silverish
Platform.
platform. It is so
It
hard
literally.
to see.
Let me reenact the fight.
So here's the
This is
first-
what it looks like.
Here's
It's
the
just
first
a
movie.
blob going like this.
First movie.
And this one, it's sort of like blue, blue, blue,
Yeah.
blue. Like you can at least tell what's happening.
And then in the middle of the there's a.
Okay. So the first thing I want to get out of the way is I think Tom Hardy is good in this role. He makes some.
He's a good Eddie Brock.
He makes some weird decisions with Eddie Brock, and like the way he like speaks. He's always like he's repeating himself, and he's like this. He's kind of like doing a Jeff Goldblum sorta.
Imagine a Jeff Goldblum Venom movie.
But anytime it's just character bits with Eddie Brock and Venom,
they play off each other.
That is the most entertaining part of. Those are the most entertaining parts of the movie.
That was my favorite joke in the movie is when like he's talking to Venom, but like the police guy's standing in front of him, and he's like, "You do not deserve nice things," because he's talking to Venom, but he's also trying to talk to the other guy, so he tries to pivot mid-sentence, and it just ends out sounding super awkward.
When he's in the bathroom, and there's just a lady sitting next to him during this entire conversation.
Yeah. There's good stuff in this movie.
Like
I think
The comedy is better.
I think
Venom
they.
trying to sing along to a song.
I think there's more
at all.
effort in general in this one than there was in the first one.
Yeah. Now the lip sync was.
Well, I was gonna
distracting.
bring that up later, but I think the effort is apparent in the director they brought in. This is Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Most people know who that is. This is his second feature directorial credit.
Mm-hmm.
He did a short, and then he did that Netflix Mowgli movie, if you remember that.
You know what? No.
Mowgli?
Yeah, like the Jungle Book Mowgli.
Oh yeah, didn't we see
But
that?
they couldn't call it the Jungle Book because Disney owns that.
Yeah. So they called it Mowgli: Legend of the Jungle, but that's not
Oh
important.
right.
You
Yeah.
you can definitely tell he's trying to figure out his style in this. Like
Yeah.
there's a couple parts of this that feel like amateur, like film student-esque.
Yeah.
Like he does this thing mostly in the beginning where the camera just will go in and out of focus constantly. And it's like dollied like this, and it's just going in and out of focus while things are going on in the foreground.
Yeah.
And you can't really tell what's going on, and the whole point is to make you feel, ooh, I'm uneasy, but in reality it's like I can't see what's going on.
What's happening, and it looks bad.
He does a few interesting shots with it, but I think most of them are just pretty put guy here, film here.
Very, very Midnight
The
Massacre,
cinematography,
yeah.
the cinematography in general.
The cinematography in Midnight Massacre was phenomenal.
So much better.
We put the camera in a place and then hit the record
We
button.
should show them the trailer at the end.
Yeah, we could do that.
The cinematography in general was, I think, a little bit better because they use a more interesting color palette. There's a lot of oranges and yellows, a little bit warmer light instead of like just deep blacks and harsh like sort of bluish whites
Instead of
in the
just
first
black.
movie. Yeah, they actually make an effort with the lighting in this to like sort of
To
set a
make it so you
mood,
can see what is happening.
and you can see what's happening.
And even though a lot of it does take place at night, they do a better job of putting a light on Venom so you can see him.
There's also some weird transitions and like some weird editing choices.
Yeah, sometimes it just cuts to the next thing. And you're like, what?
Yeah, sometimes it would like there would be an event in the story, and then they'd cut to either Cletus Cassidy or Shriek reacting to it, and then just cut back to the thing that was happening.
Yeah.
And like the whole Cletus Cassidy and Shriek bit like didn't really matter. They just put it there so that you could like see the character's reaction, and you don't need to have that there, especially when they would have like one time it did like one of those like circle transitions where it like closes in like this.
I thought the movie was like over, and then it was like it was a different
Well,
scene.
Venom pops out, that's
they
all,
transition from like a normal scene, and then they circle transition to Cletus Cassidy just sitting there doing this, and then they do it again back to another scene.
The scene they were already at. Yeah, it was weird.
In terms of like the other performances, Michelle Williams is phoning it in. She doesn't care. She has said before that
But
she
I
does
think
this
it
for the
does. It
paycheck.
almost does kind of fit because like her character is supposed to be kind of like just done with Eddie Brock, and just like she just wants to be done with him.
Yeah.
So it does kind of fit.
Woody Harrelson is okay. He's trying to
Still don't
ham
think
it up.
it's very good casting.
I don't either.
Kind of trying to be.
He was good. Like he did the best he could.
Yeah.
I don't. Personally, I still think it should have been Jared Leto.
Best isn't good enough.
But I think he was still pretty good.
He
Like,
was okay.
He didn't do a bad
Yeah,
job.
he didn't do bad. And then his I forget. Oh, I'm
He
so
did.
sorry.
He did a lot better than I thought. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, he didn't go as over the top as I was expecting him to. Naomi Harris, who plays Shriek, I don't think she does bad either. She just isn't given a whole lot to do.
Yeah, I do like their relationship. I liked how it was just kind of like they're both crazy, so they like each other, and there's not a whole lot more to it than that.
She is basically just doing a version of her character from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's basically the same.
It's basically the same person. And then there's a detective character who doesn't really do anything. He's just sort of around. He's set up for the next thing, which we'll get to when we talk about spoilers.
We'll get there.
Other things, music is pretty forgettable. Not anything going on there.
I like the score at the fight scene at the end was good.
Yeah.
The rest I didn't even really notice.
The script is good from a structure standpoint.
But
Some of the
dialogue
dialogue
is
is really, really bad.
Yeah, some of the dialogue is like not good.
My favorite part, by far, is the part towards the end where Carnage says, "Let there be carnage," and then screams really loudly.
Even though there's no character that he's talking to when he delivers
There's
that
no
line.
one around.
There's no one, because he kicked Venom super far away. Venom's not in frame or in earshot. Scream is knocked out on the bridge thing, and so is the police officer. So he literally just says that to himself.
Yeah, he just goes, "Let there be carnage."
And then the lightning strikes behind him. And I was like, what is this movie?
Wasn't Venom there?
No.
No, he was hanging off the side of the. He was hanging on the inside of the bell thing.
No, but that was.
Onto the street.
Yeah, he had punched Venom off. Venom was like over. Like, he was still fighting Venom, but Venom wasn't near him.
Yeah.
He had punched him away. And then screamed, "Let there be carnage," and then like went to chase him.
Well, it was cool.
All right.
Still cool.
Yeah, again, dialogue's pretty bad. I think character motivations are kind of bland, and
I mean, they were enough for it to work.
they were enough for it to work.
The only one that was really, I would say, wasn't great was Carnage.
Yeah.
The symbiotes is fine. That makes sense. But well, no, I guess they were both fine because he was mad at Eddie Brock for like busting him and getting him the death penalty, and then
You
Carnage
understand
was mad at Venom
yeah.
because they're symbiotes, and that's just how
I
they
don't
work.
like that Carnage called him father. It's kind of weird.
That's what he is.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird.
Okay, that's not a real criticism.
Yeah,
That's just you saying a thing.
All right. Some of the comedy was okay. Some of it wasn't. It was kind of hit and miss.
I think it would have been funny if they sort of played on the like, "Let me do what I want, Dad," like
Yeah.
angle. I think that would. I think they were trying to get there, but they never really got there.
I think they should have played up the Eddie Brock Venom breakup. Oh, I guess we'll talk about them when we get to
Yeah.
spoilers.
All right. Movie time. Talking about the movie.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about spoilers now.
We've been talking about it,
okay, hang on. Before we go into spoilers, Fool, recommend or no recommend?
If you like the trailer, you'll like the movie. If you didn't like the first movie, you probably won't like this one.
Yeah. Okay. Max, what about you?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Again, if you were one of those people who did like the first one, you will like this one.
And you will like it more than you like
You will probably like it more.
If you really hated the first one, you will tolerate this one, and you probably still won't like it. So
Yeah.
If you
And
like
then
Marvel, you'll like it just because. It's
if you just want to get out of the house and go to a movie,
it's fine. It's a good.
you can, but there's so much other stuff that's probably
It's
going
just
to be
a
better.
fun like popcorn sort of. It's
One
a fun
thing
movie
that I
kind of
did
thing.
realize-
My favorite part of this movie is that it's much shorter than the first one.
Yeah.
But if you do just want to go see a movie, I would just wait because there's so much big and better
Go see
stuff.
Shang-Chi
Just
again.
wait
There's
till
so
the
much big and
trailers-
better stuff coming out this month where this is not a thing I would rush to the theater to see.
Yeah, I mean Shang-Chi came out not that long ago. That's still a great movie.
Bond
It
comes
is
out
nice.
next week. Dune comes out this month.
Dune,
Halloween,
Spider-Man comes
Last
out not
Duel.
too long from now.
Yeah,
It is
there's plenty of
nice,
stuff
though,
coming out.
To have like just a more simplistic Marvel superhero movie that isn't super MCU multiverse, all these things connected type.
Yeah,
of
it is
stuff.
kind of nice to not have it as
Because, like,
complicated, where it's just
where you don't have to watch
blobby
20
monster fight blobby monster.
All right, we're gonna go full into
Anyways,
spoilers
yeah.
now. So I guess click away.
One thing
Or
that
you
I
have it-
realized,
or if
skip
you-
ahead.
Yeah.
the thing
To
I
this
think
time code.
I'm not gonna put it there.
if you watch the movie another second time, which I did personally, but the humor, like it's funny the first time, but kind of the second time it's just kind of like it's funny, but it's once you've already like kind of seen it, it's just really like it's just kind of
Okay, cool.
Okay. So let's talk about post credits last because that'll be the biggest thing.
that's the biggest thing. I don't have much theories about that.
I have a couple of miscellaneous notes. Woody Harrelson, the wig is still bad. It's better.
But it's not great.
It's not great. It's still bad. I don't know why they. I get that he has red hair in the comics, so they wanted to give him red hair in the movie, but that was not like a necessary component.
That ain't it.
Because it was kind of distracting in some scenes, especially in scenes with brighter lights in it. I was like, that's
They
just...
should have just dyed his hair red.
He doesn't have
he's
hair.
bald.
He's bald. So just let him be bald. He doesn't need to have hair.
Yeah. Well, they were like, well, he's got red hair in the comics, so he's got to have red hair.
Okay, more things. Why does Venom only turn into sexy lady Venom when
It's his girlfriend?
when it's Michelle Williams? He possesses other
Several girls throughout the
several other female characters in the movie, just turns into normal Venom. When it's Michelle Williams specifically, he turns into Lady Venom.
Maybe because he likes her, I guess.
I don't. Again, don't know why.
Or maybe it's because they're like a match for.
Okay, these next three are
Oh yeah, maybe
are all
it's-
kind of tied together.
Maybe it's because he is also a match with her.
Yeah, because
Because it didn't kill her when he possessed
I
her.
guess.
But then I guess is Mrs. Chen also a match then?
I don't know.
Also, I hate Mrs. Chen with just the teeth and eyes.
Yeah, that was
looks
weird.
So
that was a really
weird.
bad effect.
It's
It was
like-
creepy.
Okay. These next three notes are all tied together. So there's a scene in the movie where Carnage goes into a gas station, and he sticks his goopy hands
the
into all of the
stupidest
ports of a laptop
part of
on the
movie.
counter.
So
All right.
dumb.
And he uses it to hack into the police database and find the location of his girlfriend.
Because Carnage is a technopath now.
So one,
What?
how does Carnage, by sticking his hands into a USB port, access encrypted police files and operate a computer at all? Two, why does this gas station computer have access
to the police
to
database?
the police database? Three, why is the police database specifically color paletted to match Carnage just in case he hacks into it?
And why
And
does the
four,
police database have information in it that the chief of police doesn't know?
And also, why does
And
Carnage
four-
hack into like the HDMI and aux port?
Now I can listen to all
it all just goes in with the symbiote's abilities in this movie
Are completely
are just
undefined.
nonsensical. They just do whatever they need to do.
Their powers are just what does the plot need it to do?
Yeah, he needs him to hack. Well, just stick his hand in the charging port.
See, and I know that like when they were coming up with that scene, they were like, okay, guys, I think it'd be really cool if like, what if he like sticks his hands in the laptop and he can sort of manipulate it from the inside? And no one went, no, Dave, that's a stupid idea, Dave. Get out of the room, Dave. No, they went, yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do
From
that.
the writer of 50 Shades of Grey. Not a joke. Real information there.
So that's what all the sexual tension between Venom and Carnage was.
All right. Other technical things. The
Lip syncing was off.
The lip
but only
sync
for Venom.
on
Carnage's was fine.
Venom specifically was off.
And only when he was the head.
Yeah.
When he was
No.
regular Venom, it was.
I
like,
noticed some
It
on
was still
regular.
a little bit. It wasn't perfect, but it was like it was better. When he was the head, it was like he was just moving his. It was like a Sims character.
I'm wondering if. So normally when you do voiceover for animation or movies in general, you do the voices before you even start the animation, so you can sync it up right.
Well, and they also sometimes will face track the voice actors
Yeah.
and then use that as a match.
I
for the
wonder
face.
if because Tom Hardy improvises so much as Venom, like on set, that they had already started
the
animating
effects, yeah.
when he was filming stuff, so that it didn't match up properly.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, but also like this movie had an extra year to do post on it. You couldn't have gone in there and fixed that.
The
That-
effects on Carnage were really good.
Yeah, Carnage
Okay.
is awesome.
Except for the
Tornado.
prison breakout scene
Tornado
where he
Carnage.
uses spin jitsu from Ninjago. I'm not even kidding, Patrick. He flies up and he grabs the walls and he spins himself around really fast and makes a tornado in the middle of the prison.
And there was no
And
And
then
starts sucking everything up.
In the Flash TV show.
There was no point either.
Yeah, he didn't even get anything from it. He just made a tornado and then got out of the tornado and walked out of the prison.
Yes,
He didn't even need to make a tornado.
The only thing he did while in the tornado was grab the guy
The
and
warden.
just stab the warden, and just stab it.
Which he could have done anyways.
Yeah, he could have just done that without the tornado.
I think overall though the action scenes are
Way better.
better One, because you have a better sense of geography.
Yeah.
So in the first one, we talked about it at the end fight
There's
scene.
no sense of scale.
They're on like a vague rocket ship launch platform, and so they're just stumbling around big gray beams. Circles on the ground.
Yeah.
In this one, the two main action scenes are in a prison and in a church.
Yeah.
Which are both pretty enclosed spaces.
And there's the one outside of the crazy people school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but you can
Yeah.
they're in a contained environment, so
They're
you
in an
can tell
environment
where
that
they
most
are.
people can understand.
Can understand the layout of. So that, I think overall that makes it better. Also, it's better because the symbiotes are less goopy.
Yeah.
Specifically Venom.
Venom's a lot less goofy.
He's more of a Hulk in this, where he just kind of he's big and he hits things
he's
hard.
more like a video game Venom, not so much like a comic book.
Because in the
Last
first
time,
one,
he,
he
like-
was just like
He was a blob man.
he was just a blob. He
Yeah.
would just flick himself all over the room and just hit people, and you
Yeah.
couldn't see what was going on.
There was one scene where the CGI looked awful. Like, you know the part where Eddie gets back from the I don't remember what, from the insane asylum. Like, he visits Cletus Cassidy, and Venom sees that thing on the wall, and he starts drawing it, and then Venom starts typing, and it looks like he just has these weird, ginormous puppet hands.
Because the Venom went over the hand.
I know that, but it looks so awful because it's just that.
It was supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a comedy thing.
Yeah, it was supposed to look dumb.
But he didn't even move his fingers at all.
Well, yeah, he did when he was doing the drawing, and when he was typing and moving his fingers to type. Were you paying attention?
Yeah, it didn't look good. It did not look good.
Max was staring at his bucket of popcorn, and he was
I
like,
didn't even
"Ooh."
get popcorn.
All
All
right.
right.
Yeah. So Venom.
All right,
Let's talk about the post-credit
Yeah.
scene.
So,
Sporter boy.
at the post-credit scene, there's two major things they reveal here. One, the symbiote hive is a thing.
Yeah.
And they share collective information, which confirms that Null and the Clintars and all that stuff exists.
Yes.
Which
Which is cool, I guess.
it has massive lore implications on its own. But perhaps even more important, somehow he phase shifts into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, okay, we don't know. We don't know that Venom was the one that the room just shakes.
We know. What is most likely the case is he was just a side effect of Doctor Strange's spell.
That we see in the No Way Home trailer.
Yeah, but the implication is that he is now in the MCU. And with the way that the Venom movie ended, Eddie Brock was like, I guess we'll just go where someone needs a lethal protector. And with the way that
Name of the Venom comic series from the 90s?
Yes. And with the way that the MCU is set up, where the news coverage of Peter Parker is that he's a villain, I think that the setup for Venom 3 will be that Venom is fighting Spider-Man, because Venom is trying to be a hero and trying to take down Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is just confused as to why this big goopy monster man is attacking him.
A couple things. One, these past, the whole of Venom 1 and 2 were not in the MCU
No,
at
they're
all.
in a different universe.
Which makes them completely useless. You could throw everything out.
Yeah,
if
nothing
he's just
truly
going to
matters.
stay in the MCU, none of that whole movie we just watched matters.
Yeah, I was.
Which is stupid.
I was trying
Yeah.
to explain it to my friend's dad. I was like, no, this movie is not connected to the MCU, but then it was connected.
But only this part
But
is.
only this part, because that's when he traveled to the other universe.
That's when Doctor Strange uses the spell that brings him in.
And that's why Venom doesn't have the weird spider logo on him. So this took so long.
So, that means... Oh, they kill Carnage and Shriek in this movie.
Well, I thought they just killed Carnage. I thought
No, they killed Shriek. Remember, they crush her
Yeah,
with
the
a big bell.
Oh, yeah, no, she's dead. Yeah, she's
So
dead.
they could just bring them back in this next one. They could just be new versions of those people.
Okay, I think that if Venom stays in the MCU, which we don't know if he will yet,
We don't know, but we're expecting
we're at
some...
a point where Marvel can't technically tell them no.
We're expecting some universe merging in No Way Home
Yeah.
here. So what'll probably end up happening is they'll merge
If
those
he
universes.
becomes a permanent resident of Earth 9999,
which he
is
likely
unlikely,
will,
we'll
because
see.
Venom needs to fight Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think it'll be weird.
Do you expect...
I don't think Venom will ever show up in a MCU movie.
Not in any notable role.
At least not until they do another big team-up movie where everyone is there. And even then, I don't even know if he'll show up.
And I don't think he's ever going to show up in, he's a main player.
Yeah.
He could show up in like a small like
I think
background
if he does show
thing.
up, he would show up as Eddie Brock, and
Yeah.
Venom's head would pop up once in the background.
Or you would hear his voice
Yeah.
like in his head.
Either that, or he will just stay in the MCU. He won't be in any of the MCU movies.
No.
But anytime Spider-Man has a movie or Venom has a movie, they will cross
Yeah,
over.
just to be clear, he will never be in anything MCU related other than Spider-Man solo films.
Or other Spider-Man character related movies.
He can also be in,
Like if they make a Sinister Six movie, he could be in that.
he can have a Morbius cameo or whatever.
Yeah, which
But,
also is maybe doesn't take place in the MCU.
I think
Different than Mobius.
No, Mobius is a chair from the DC universe.
he's talking about from Loki.
He's also a guy from Loki.
What if Morbius is Morbius?
I think what's probably going to happen here is we're going to get No Way Home, right? That whole movie's going to happen. Venom's going to be completely unrelated. Well, maybe, and then
Maybe a post-credit scene.
Yeah, maybe a post-credit scene. Then we get Spider-Man 4/Venom 3, which will likely be called Spider-Man versus Venom, Dawn of Spider-Man.
That's the dumbest name for a movie ever.
No, what would it be called?
You'd call it Spider-Man versus Venom.
It wouldn't.
No, you call it Spider-Man, Let There Be Venom.
Venom, Let There Be Spider-Man.
Let there be Spider-Man.
They use the same poster. They just put Peter Parker's face
They
over
just
all the
insert Tom
carnage.
Holland where Cletus Cassidy is.
But what we'll probably get is a
Spider-Man's Secret of the Ooze.
what we'll likely get is a movie where they fight for a bit, then they realize they need to team up to fight.
Better villain.
Insert symbiote character here,
Probably Toxin.
Yeah, because they.
and then they'll split up again. Venom will go, "Hey, that spider logo looks pretty cool," and then he makes it form on his chest, and he'll have the spider logo now. And then
And he will also have more Spider-Man related.
Yeah,
powers,
and then-
he'll get skinnier also, but
Yeah.
only a little bit skinnier.
and then they'll split off. Spider-Man will go back to having, fight Scorpion or whatever. And then Venom will go off and fight more nameless,
Symbiotes.
random symbiote characters for the end
They
for the
will
rest of
continue
time.
to fight symbiotes until they fight 5 symbiotes. And then once they fight 5 symbiotes, those 5 symbiotes can combine and turn into
Well, how do you top these last two? I mean, you got to introduce him fighting more than one symbiote at a time.
Scream is 5 symbiotes that combine into one super symbiote.
There's also Unity, but they already got rid of the Life Foundation, so I don't think they can do that.
They're going to do Scream. Scream is the logical thing.
Well, they're setting up for Toxin.
Well, Toxin will be the next one.
Toxin's the next one.
But Toxin and Venom and Anti-Venom altogether have 5 children who are all a different color, like the Power Rangers, and they fuse into one super symbiote.
I think
called
after
Scream.
Toxin-
It's literally just like the Venom Power
I think after
Rangers.
Toxin, they'll probably end up doing
Anti-Venom.
Anti-Venom. And then maybe they'll build up to doing Null.
They can't do
No,
Null.
that's no.
They wouldn't be able to do Null unless they introduce it through Eternals, which they won't do.
Just
Also,
nerf him down, make him essentially a completely different character, just use the name.
They can't nerf him that much, though. Like, that would... It would
Sam.
They would have to retcon the origin of the symbiotes to do
Sam,
that.
we're talking about Sony here. Sony has absolutely no regard for source material. They do not care. They'll nerf the crap out of that
It
guy.
won't make any sense if they do.
All he needs is a magic symbiote sword, and they'll call him Null, and it'll be played by Daniel.
Oh
Radcliffe.
no, so okay, here's what they would do. They would have it so Null is basically Galactus, but not Galactus from the Fantastic Four Galactus.
Uh-huh.
And Venom will have to find the secret symbiote sword that is for some inexplicable reason on Earth.
Yeah.
And then he will find it, and that'll be the one
And
thing
then he'll
that
have
can
to big
kill
hit
Null.
him. He'll have to hit him really
He'll have to
hard.
hit him and cut his symbiote
And they'll do a
part
10-minute
out.
flashback of Venom explaining the backstory to Eddie Brock.
Yeah, he'll be like...
Do you think Venom could? Because do you think he will stay in the MCU,
No.
or he'll stay in whatever weird version of the MCU
Well, I think
Sony?
he'll just
can
be
do?
in
I
the
don't
background.
know.
I think he could.
I
I don't
think
see a
he
reason not
could.
to.
I think he could, but they wouldn't make any more Venom movies if he did. Or if they did,
Yeah,
they,
you do.
they would have to reestablish their setup.
Well, you'd have to merge his universe into this one.
No, they wouldn't merge them. They would just... There's another... What's his girlfriend's name?
Michelle.
There's just another Michelle.
No, that's the actress. I forget her. Anne? I think it's Anne.
Anne. There's another Anne who lives in the regular MCU and just never met Eddie Brock, and they meet and
Well,
they have the same
I think
relationship,
he would.
basically.
I think he would merge. I think he would just merge them. You take all the stuff from the Venom, you just put it.
I think that they would just... They would keep him in the MCU, and since they just have multiverse doppelgangers of all the characters, so that they don't have to say that he's in a different universe. They don't have to explain anything of what happened.
Yeah.
But they can just, he's in the MCU, and it's definitely a different universe, but they won't say.
Yeah,
You could do
it'll
like-
be the MCU, but
It is another
they won't be
universe,
able
but
to
they won't
mention any of the major events or characters by name, except for stuff related to Spider-Man.
Okay, if they wanted to get super confusing, like this would be the most convoluted thing they could probably possibly do. They could make a Toxin solo movie where Venom has disappeared and Toxin has to save the city or whatever.
That would be stupid.
That would be so bizarrely convoluted, especially if they keep my theory.
It wouldn't be
of keeping it in the
convoluted.
MCU.
It would just be dumb because no one cares about Toxin.
No, it would be convoluted because that would mean there's two universes going concurrently with the same characters in them, but multiverse doppelgangers of each other, and they both exist concurrently, but audiences don't really know that they're different universes.
My biggest
What would be
problem
cool
with
is if in the MCU, Anne was the one that got.
What'll probably happen is Venom and Spider-Man will fight, and
they'll
Spider-Man...
stay in the same universe
No,
so they
they'll
can
work.
team up.
They'll work together to send Venom back to his home universe.
They'll do the tried and true. They punch for a bit and then they're mates. What, Patrick?
Is that the last thing on the docket?
No, Patrick.
There's
We're
one
not
more
even
thing.
done yet.
There's one more thing, but it's not
We have
going to
any
take a
time.
while.
I have. So my biggest problem with this whole it's raining, by the way. If you
Yeah,
hear that.
the
If the
audio
audio
is bad,
suddenly
that's
is
why.
rambly.
Because it just started.
It's
hurricane
pouring
outside.
down.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It just started, like,
my biggest problem with this though is Venom has absolutely no reason to fight Spider-Man now.
He does.
What's his motivation?
I told you. Okay,
J.J.
the news
Simpson.
frames Spider-Man as a villain.
Yeah.
Eddie Brock and Venom combined now have a new resolve to become a hero.
And they have no idea who he is. So
They don't know who Spider-Man is, they just know he's the bad guy. Venom, being sort of naive and wanting to prove himself, wants to take on Spider-Man in order to prove that he's the hero that he knows he can be. Spider-Man thinks that Venom is a villain because he's a big scary monster that eats people, and so he's fighting Venom because
So
he thinks
you think
Venom
it's
is
just
the
going to be a
villain.
big misunderstanding?
And it'll be a big misunderstanding, and eventually they'll be like, wait a minute, you're not evil? And he's like, wait a minute, you're not evil? And Eddie Brock's like, well, I eat people, but not really. And then they're like, oh, what a chuckly misunderstanding. High five, let's go get beers and beat up Thanos or something.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how it'll go.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Like, I need to kill Spider-Man because he's mean. And
You're
then,
gonna just peak the audio like.
Yeah,
a
and then Eddie
million
Brock's
times.
like, Venom, I don't want to fight Spider-Man. He seems like a teenager. And Venom's like, oh, but he's evil. We gotta get him. And then that'll be the movie.
Yeah.
Sam, you should write these
Are you
down.
looking forward to Venom 3 or Spider-Man 4 or whatever the crap the next one is?
It'll be Venom 3 that they
Spider-Man,
fight
let
each
there
other.
Be Venom, let there be
It'll be-
I think they'll call it Spider-Man versus Venom
It'll be called...
because Spider-Man's a bigger character.
If it is a Venom movie, it will be called Spider-Man versus Venom. If it is a Spider-Man movie, it'll be called Spider-Man
Maximum Venom.
Maximum Venom or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Is there like a bigger you know how Carnage has?
They
absolute
usually, if they
Carnage?
team up in the comics, it's usually to fight Carnage.
No, I'm just so you know how there's absolute
There was the
Carnage?
Venom verse where just everyone was Venomized.
That was so that Funko Pops could
but
make
that was
toys.
that was
Yeah.
more for Funko Pops.
So
than anything else.
Carnage has absolute Carnage. Does Venom have like a bigger form? Like, does he get like
No, he's just Venom.
like Super Saiyan Venom?
I mean, I'm sure in the comics he had some sort of like super,
The two
symbiote god
biggest
mode,
symbiote like things that they did were they did Planet of the Symbiotes.
which is where Noel comes
Well,
from.
that's actually 3. They did King in Black, and then they did Absolute Carnage. And King in Black was with Null.
Yeah.
And the Planet of the Symbiotes was also dealing with all
Sort
of
of
the
with
symbiotes.
Noel, but they hadn't revealed who he was.
And then Absolute Carnage was Carnage gets a lot of carnage, and it turns a bunch of other people into Carnages. And
then
it
Funko
gets
Pops
really big.
makes a lot of money.
And then Venom and Spider-Man have to punch him.
And then I gave $30 to the Funko Corporation to get the one pop, which is pretty cool though. I actually like them.
So I've seen some people saying this is Venom could potentially be in the group of villains in No Way Home.
He won't.
No,
I don't think so.
That's too much.
If they do that, I mean, they could,
'Cause
I guess.
Most of the theories of him being in No Way Home is because Tom Hardy was in a photo with a guy and he was wearing a No Way Home hat, like the hats that they gave to people in
Yeah.
the
it
production.
would be way too
Okay,
much.
here's...
Which is either he's in the movie and accidentally took that photo, or he was at Sony that day and they said, "Hey, you want this hat?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take it."
I think there's two different
Stop
ways...
falling over Batman.
There's two different ways that Spider-Man No Way Home can go. Either Spider-Man No Way Home will spend a decent amount of time with each villain and he will fight each one and they'll only do like maybe 2 or 3. Or it'll be a bunch of villains. He'll fight them each for like 2 minutes in a montage and that'll be how it goes.
If
they do the 2-minute montage thing, he will fight Venom, but Venom will get a longer thing because they'll build him up a little bit.
If
more.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in it, then they have to do a
montage
bunch of villains, right?
Yeah.
If it ends up being just Doc Ock, Electro, and Green Goblin, then it could just be Peter Parker, and it could be more extended. But I don't think Venom. Like, what is Sony even doing? Who knows?
Now,
what is their plan? Morbius
this
movie?
could have been that post-credit scene could have been why they delayed Venom so much. Is because they wanted it to come out right before Spider-Man.
They delayed it
because they want Venom to be in.
Well, they
Spider-Man.
delayed it because Sony doesn't have a streaming service, and they needed to make the maximum amount of money possible.
Well, there's that, but I'm talking about from a building hype standpoint. That might be one of the reasons.
So, well, it was going to come out before Spider-Man anyway.
Yeah, but I'm saying they wanted them to be this close to each other I guess so. To set up Venom being in that movie.
Do you think people will be confused about what's in MCU and what's not?
Absolutely. I mean, you remember when we were talking with Surya, like as soon as we got out, he had no idea what was going on.
Do you think people are going to see Morbius?
No.
Michael Keaton.
I don't even think I'm going to see Morbius.
No, you will.
I don't want to
Sam, you think you have a choice. I make you see these things.
I don't care at all.
You're going to see it.
I'll watch Blade instead. Because Blade will be better, I
Watch
guarantee
the original Blade.
We should go watch Blade after this.
Blade 1
No.
through 3.
In one sitting.
No.
They're not that long, actually.
Yeah, no, I think they're only about an hour.
Go watch it.
Anyway,
Anyways,
that's
all right.
our review.
Wait, we got one more thing now.
Let us know in the comments if you liked Venom. Let There Be Carnage.
Venom, let us know if you liked the movie or not.
And let it and press that like button.
And
fam.
Venom, let
Ka-down.
you press the like button. And I'm going to keep making these puns, so let's move on.
All right. We got one rumor time, Patrick. I know you don't care, and have basically you said nothing this whole show.
Patrick, you are falling asleep as we are talking.
I'm pretty active, I would say.
All right, Marvel is actively developing a standalone Daredevil project starring Charlie Cox,
We play Daredevil in the Netflix show.
obviously.
Cool.
The Echo series will serve as a way to bring in some Netflix show characters.
Cool.
Makes sense.
So-
Alright, bye everybody.
So, yeah, if this happens, and if the theories of Daredevil also being in Spider-Man, since apparently it's the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate of movies.
I think
Uh,
I think Matt and Murdock will be in Spider. Like, I don't think at the end it'll be the two other Spider-Men and then also Daredevil.
Daredevil's
just
also
walks
there.
in.
It's like, I'm late, guys. Don't worry, I got it. He throws his line
I think it.
puts on the
If
mask.
he's in it, he'll just be the
He'll
lawyer.
just be a lawyer.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I deal with cases like these.
And Spider-Man will be like, I dress up in red spandex, and Daredevil will be like, oh, I also kind of do that.
No, he won't
maybe."
say that. He'll just be like, yeah, I understand the vibe. Or
He'll be
something
like,
that.
I know what's going on there, and then
I know what that's like.
And then he'll take his glasses off and he'll wink at the camera, even though he's blind, and he'll wink at the wrong place because he can't see the camera.
And he'll go, oh boy, I sure am a daredevil, aren't I? And he'll look like
Oh my
this.
god! If Daredevil was in this
Wow,
movie,
you're quite a daredevil,
if
aren't you,
If
kid?
Venom was in this movie, there would be a point where he'd go, "Wow, Venom, you're kind of a daredevil."
You're kind of a daredevil yourself, and it'll be a reference to both that line from the original Spider-Man and just a stupid thing that happened.
I think, in general, I think movies where they mention the title, every time they
always
say
worse.
it, they should just flash the title card on screen for like 5 seconds and then go back to the movie.
Honestly, that would have made it better. If he said, "Let there be carnage,"
And
and then the
then the
lightning
logo-
strikes, and the lightning spells out
Venom.
"Let there be
No,
carnage."
it says Venom, Let There Be Carnage in theaters, and then it says
And it has the date and everything.
and then it has the Blu-ray release underneath.
Blu-ray
it.
release starring all the characters. Like
Just
the whole credits
the whole
play
credits
as a
play.
lightning bolt.
Let there be carnage.
All right.
Coming up.
I think
Yeah, so a
that's it.
standalone Daredevil project. I don't think they'd call it Daredevil season
Oh shoot,
4.
we totally forgot that the Switch OLED came out.
Did it?
Yep, it's
No,
like
no,
out.
it comes
No,
out-
it's out.
No, it comes out
It
this week.
released early.
What?
Yeah, it released like a week early.
Why?
I don't know. It just
I thought it was coming out the same day that
no,
Metroid
it released a week
Dread
early.
came out.
Every single YouTuber has like 5 of them. It released a week early.
What?
Yeah, we totally forgot
Hang
to
on.
mention this.
I gotta confirm with my sources,
Oh, yeah, I
aka
saw
Google
Wood
search.
got one, like,
Wood has
early.
3.
Yeah.
That's seen it?
That's probably why.
Um,
He's here too.
I don't. What?
Yeah, the Switch, it released in a bunch of stores early.
It says available October 8th. So did it get leaked and they just started selling them without knowing it hadn't come out yet? Like
I
on Walmart?
think that might have been what happened. No, because it was like literally
it's
every single store.
Because Nintendo still says it's official because it's supposed to come out the same day as Metroid Dread.
Because all the people that pre-ordered it from GameStop already have it.
Oh, okay. So they gave them out early.
Yeah, they released it early.
Poo poo. So it's not officially released.
It's not officially
A bunch of
released, but
companies
everyone
screwed
that has
up.
ordered one has
So a
one.
bunch of companies screwed up.
And if you
gave
pre-ordered
out.
it, you have it.
That's great.
Pre-order.
But yeah, from what I've seen from the YouTube stuff, it looks really cool.
Oh, there was stuff about. Oh, I forgot. Maybe we'll talk about this next week.
I mean,
There was
we already covered
there was
those.
stuff about this console. Maybe should we just talk about it real quick? We got
How much time do you have?
about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I have to leave at 3, but yeah, we're good.
So there was
Wait,
reports from
Work.
I think it was Bloomberg again.
Bloomberg.
It was either that or like CNET, but they said that there were 4K Switch development kits given to developers.
Yeah,
Apparently,
Nintendo couldn't do it.
there at one point the Switch OLED was like a Switch Pro. It was more
Yeah.
powerful, could output 4K stuff,
Which makes sense.
but it didn't work right. So they then basically were just they took all of the hardware upgrades out, just gave it the
Just
OLED
left
screen,
Dang.
and then
part,
released
yeah.
that, which would make sense. It would also explain why there were so many rumors of it, because it was a thing.
Yeah, and if you see the side-by-side comparisons between the screens, the OLED looks like leagues better.
Yeah.
Like a OLED Switch comparison. Actually, you pull it up.
Yeah, Tucker, you
Uh,
have
you have to
to
put it on the screen.
Switch.
This is your job, Tucker.
Patrick, can you pull it up for us?
What am I pulling up?
Patrick, you are on the TV, so you know.
Do you want an image or like a video of it?
So there were images going around from Twitter of like, so here it is. Here's the one I was talking about.
Okay.
Of like how do I make the image the whole screen? Can I even do that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Anyways, this is it. Whoa. And you can see just from that picture, like the amount of color.
Yeah, obviously
Difference
it's
in
a
the
better screen.
screens is like crazy.
And it's much bigger too.
And a lot of people were like, "Is this a 1080p screen?" Like they had to double check.
Yeah. So hey, if Nintendo, if it didn't work, it didn't work. Like we were
Yeah.
like kind of upset about this when it was announced, but
But also, you're expecting 4K
from a tablet.
From a tablet.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I guess the iPad can do that. So never mind. Nintendo. Yeah. What's going on over there? Figure it out. Talk to Apple. They know how to do it.
All right. Is that going to be the show for this week?
All right. I mean, that was sort of a tech time / game time
Yeah.
redux. But
Make sure to subscribe to the channel.
take a big poopy on your floor, just right in the middle of your living room. I dare you. Do it right
And
now.
Waterburger guy.
Poopy right now.
Hey, hey, Whataburger guy. Thanks for watching.
Can you get us
You
a
know
free
who you
burger?
are. You know who you are.
For our fans at home who have made it this far in the show, if you really did watch the whole thing to this point, we need you to take a picture of your toilet
And send it to us on
and
Twitter.
send it to us on Twitter.
DM it to us on Twitter.
Or no, you don't even have to do that. Just tweet it out and then add us.
Yeah, tweet it out and add us, and we will, in the next episode,
We will give
if
you
we
a
got
shout
any
out.
toilet pictures, we will shout you out.
And we
We
will
will
put them
rate-
on the screen.
But you've got to tweet out a picture of your toilet and add us.
We will
make
rate your
toilet
toilet.
We will rate your toilets.
Toilet
This is a
tier
bit we
list.
just came up with, but I want to do it. It sounds fun.
All right.
Toilet tier list, that's what it's gonna be.
Toilet tier list. There we go.
Also, coming up
Halloween special.
Halloween special. We got some special stuff planned.
We
There will
might
be
get
costumes.
one on.
Trick-or-treating?
There will be What, Patrick?
Are we going trick or treating?
Definitely. Even though you're in a different state,
Patrick will
Virtual
walk
trick
all
or
the way to
treating.
your house.
we can FaceTime you and trick or treat.
There will be special guests. There will be costumes. There will be games. There
We're
will be
gonna
what.
walk to Indiana.
We will still do the news of the week, but probably speed through it really quick.
Because we have other things planned.
We're having a release party for the movie, right?
Yeah, we are also
And
having a release party for the new movie, which, do you have the trailer prepared?
I can get.
All right,
it
we're
up.
going to play the trailer here as well, but
Sam,
the
tell us
movie-
what the movie is, please.
all right, so
Sam,
the
explain
movie
the plot.
Sam Sleuthsgood, the Sleuthsgood I know the name, guys. I made the movie. The Sleuthsgood Files number 73, The Midnight Massacre, is releasing in YouTube, not in theaters, in YouTube. The week before Halloween,
It is October 22nd.
October 22nd.
We
So
are competing with Dune and Ron's Gone Wrong, and
the difference is ours
every
is
day.
free
And it's like 40 minutes long.
and a 40th of the quality.
Dune, we're sorry for making it so that no one's gonna watch it.
We apologize that we just had to release it on this day.
We had to drop this bomb for you. All right.
Yeah, even though this is already posted on our channel, you guys are getting, I guess, a second exclusive sneak peek at the trailer for the Sluice Good Files: The Midnight Massacre. Let's go.
And this is my partner, Karate Steve. We've called you holiday mascots here today because there's been a murder.
Earlier today, the famous mascot of National Hot Dog Month, Hot Dog Man, was found dead outside his local mall.
That's not the right guy, but you understand the idea.
The murder of the Thanksgiving turkey this morning. It is suspected that someone is targeting holiday mascots.
What's that? I got conclusive evidence of who the murderer is. I do too.
Wait, there's 70 of these movies?
Get hyped, fam.
All right, yeah, it's gonna be the movie event. Wait, how many views does it have right now? Like 2?
13.
13? Okay, that's more than it had this morning.
I watched it 12.
We are going as the characters to the premiere. We will be dressed.
Oh,
as
you wanna
the
go
characters.
in costume?
In costume.
Patrick, turn your
Yeah.
camera
I am
on.
not
In
wearing
costume.
that coat the entire time we're there.
What's another character? You can be the dinosaur or the leprechaun.
And
You can go as
we
the
are
leprechaun.
I'll go as
doing a.
Leprechaun.
We'll
Oh,
do
well
a
done.
live stream before the premiere.
Oh,
Cena ate the leprechaun
all right.
costume.
So get hyped.
So
We got some upcoming stuff. We'll see you in the next week episode. Not DC Fandom yet. That's the week after. Next
The
week is
one-
Bond.
Bond? Is there a Bond event?
No Time to Die comes out
Are we
next week.
watching
We're
James
not gonna
Bond?
Yes.
Why are we've never?
I
I've
will-
never seen a James Bond
I'll
movie.
no, that's gonna be the whole gimmick because
Okay,
I've seen all the Craig ones, and I'm gonna have you see none of them, and we're gonna see if you understand what's happening.
Okay, Tucker,
All right, we'll see you next
All
week,
right,
boys.
see you guys later.
Bye.
All right, I'm gonna stop this one.
Mr. Whataburger.
Oh, okay. Other thing, we can maybe do this over Zoom. We need to record a commentary for the movie,
What do you mean? Like a director?
like a director, like yeah.
It's good to ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.